Sing along. Okay, fashionably early. Just a second. Why is my aircraft moving forward? Thank you. Fashionably early welcome to this live stream. It's on the saddest of occasions, of course. Let me just unmute the Discord. Just bear with me for 1 second. Prepared as always, as you can see.
Do you want it down a bit?
Right, guys, we are live on YouTube. Just be aware.
Right.
Saddest of occasions, of course, but also a celebration of the Queen's life, rather. Let's celebrate her 96, 97 years, 70 years on the throne. My goodness. So let's make this a tribute, but a celebration in the same way. We've got a number of people joining us on Discord. Chaps, would you like to introduce yourselves and just a quick mention of where you're from?
Nope.
Oh.
Yes, this is Bakerfly. I'm in Florida.
Yeah, my name's
This is-
Maverick, and known as Doberman in the simulator, and good to be here.
Bitbird, Allen in Georgia in the US.
Alistair from Scotland, near Balmoral, Scotland.
I'm Tuesday, I'm Steve, I'm from Hertfordshire, probably about 15 miles north of London.
And I think
Yeah.
we... Go on.
I was just going to say I'm from Stockton-on-Tees, but I used to be based down in Cambridgeshire, so that's me again, Doberman.
Ah, lovely, lovely. So I think that's everybody flying with us. As you can see, I'm sporting the lovely livery. Now, I did post this in the Discord that Aces Down 1 created. It's the Union Jack livery on the Grand Caravan. And I can see a number of others, as you can see there. It does fade in and out on the stream. Not sure why, but a number of us are flying the Union Jack livery. Unfortunately, it's only available if you have PC Flight Simulator. First thing we do, chaps, is just jump in the cockpit there and just make sure that your altimeter is correct. Just press your B key on your keyboard, which I just had to there. We'll set our initial altitude at 1,800 feet. And that will just take us above these hills around us and let us fly over low over Balmoral Castle, just to pay our respects to Balmoral there. And that's pretty much all we need to set up to begin. We've got a hefty flight ahead of us. During this flight, we'll be talking about the Queen, of course, mentioning our own memories of her. I'll be giving you tidbits of information that I've gathered as well. So strap in, and I hope a good number of you can remain to the end. Let's make this a real good send-off, a real good tribute for Her Royal Highness, Queen Elizabeth II. So chaps, if you're ready, we shall throttle up. I would go flaps 1 on this runway. It's only a short runway. Throttle up, take off. Make sure you got a hotkey, or if you make sure you know where your autopilot and nav buttons are if you're flying the Grand Caravan. Is everybody okay?
Good.
Yep.
Right, lovely. So I'm going to throttle up, release the parking brake. Oops. Press the right button to release the parking brake, and off we go.
Catch up with you guys in a bit.
So already, the Grand Caravan wants to lift off. Just going to raise my flaps up. And chaps, will be cruising about 160 to 170. Typically, when I practice this, I'm at around 170. So do try and keep up there. Off the ground, so autopilot on and nav on. Just going to lock onto the GPS, hopefully immediately. I'm just going to bring my throttle back a little bit. Yeah, GPS, so I'm locked onto the route. And first stop, Balmoral Castle. Take a quick look behind me to make sure everybody else is okay. Yep. That's lovely. So off we go, and I'll also be keeping an eye on chat, YouTube chat there. What download to Sura has really helped. That's great, Duncan. It's great to hear. Duncan, it's great to hear that that's helped. You've just been observing from Hastings, East Sussex. What service? We're on North Europe server. Chaps in the watching at home, can you let us know that the volume's okay, people's voices, that type of thing, that you can hear others? That'll be good. Should I just check the settings myself? They seem to be okay. So off we go. I'm in live weather, chaps. I don't know if the rest of you are. If I did a quick dummy flight before and I got over the sea between Ireland and Scotland, and I couldn't see a thing, so I had to turn live weather off. If that happens, just do as you please there, as long as you can see the runways that you need to land at. So there we go, we're climbing out. And 1,800 feet altitude should be enough to clear these hills around us. It's after, 1,600. Let's increase that to 1,800. It does need to be at 1,800 just to clear the highest of the peaks around us at the moment. There we go. Should do. Fine is the audio. That's great. Fine is the audio. Audio is fine. Lovely. Hi, Monty. Good to see you. Hawkeye Pro. Good to see you. Tricky. And Steve, as mentioned before. Monty. Good to see you. So, Balmoral Castle. I mean, probably a lot of you know this already, but Balmoral Castle is the favourite of the Queen residents, so we're just approaching that at the moment. 10 points for anybody in voice chat who knows the other Scottish residents.
I do, but I'm cheating because I'm Scottish.
Oh,
Somebody.
Is it Holyrood House?
That's right.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
That's the official Scottish. Scottish residence. So Holyrood House. Just go
Just round the corner from Balmoral, you got Birk Hall, where the new king basically stays when he usually comes up to Scotland to here.
Oh,
It's on the estate. It's not far.
lovely. That I didn't know, Al. So, like I said to you before, I'm going to be relying on you for a lot of Scottish royalty knowledge.
Okay.
And as you can see, chaps, I've got airport markers on. I've also got landmark markers on for this part of the flight, just so we can properly spot. You can see Balmoral Castle. It's just over 2 nautical miles out. So I shall pop outside. Chaps, beware, once you pass this, I'll do it now. Go to your altitude select, those who are flying with me, and put it to 3,500 feet. Don't climb yet. Just prepare yourself. 3,500 feet for the autopilot selected altitude after we pass Balmoral Castle. And you are going to need that, trust me. So there we go. Quick flyover, Union Jack, Grand Caravan. Thanks, Aces. I meant to put a link to your channel down below, but I will do after I've recorded this video or done the flight. There's Balmoral Castle. Beautiful grounds. It's no wonder it's the Queen's favourite place to be. It was. So there we go. That's Balmoral Castle.
Do you see any of her Yorkies out there running around?
Corgis. No, I don't.
Oh, okay, those.
Yeah. Chaps, once you pass Balmoral Castle, vertical speed and increase your rate of climb by 1,000 feet per minute, otherwise you may be in trouble. And just take it off autopilot if you find yourself flying into a cliff, a mountain.
Balmoral is open to the public when the Queen's not there, by the way. If anybody was going to come up here to Royal Deeside to wanted to see Balmoral, you can get in to look at it, to the ballroom where she lay in state. Well, she was laying there today, so it is open to the public.
Ah. Yeah, the Queen's body is going to be, well, a coffin's going to be on display for a few days once it gets back down to London, of course. So, but there's going to be crowds aplenty gathering for that. And I do have little nav map up and running as well. I'll just show the viewers at home there, and I'll be utilising that a little bit later. The runways and airports we're heading to are pretty visible from testing, so we should be okay. Should be fine. So, how are you chaps doing? Okay?
Good.
Good.
Good here.
Great.
Yep.
Caravan's a good aircraft for autopiloting.
Oh, it really
It
is.
does what it's told.
It does.
Not like the Kodiak, it's just like a little stroppy child. Doesn't feel like it. It just folds its arms, sits in the corner and sulks.
And may I ask, to begin with, how are you chaps coping with the sad news? I know that it affects all of us differently. I'm still very sad about it, but trying to find a positive behind it as well. How are you chaps coping?
Well, I woke up
question.
the next day feeling a bit like I've lost another grandma.
Yeah,
No,
I
it's,
think you're right. Yeah, no, I think you're
Yeah.
right.
That's the way I felt about it. She's somebody I've known all my life.
Yeah.
It's very,
She
very
looked
sad.
she looked so good 2 days before
Absolutely.
when she met the Prime Minister.
That's right. It is interesting that the scenery you're flying over is Royal D-side, and the people, you've probably heard this on television many times, but I can tell you it's absolutely true. The people here protect the Royals to a great degree, because the Royals feel very comfortable in this area. They feel, you know, that they can walk down the street, they can go into shops, and the locals will very much protect anything that either the Royals do, and won't let the media, for example, know anything that's happened or anything.
Yeah.
They really do look after them.
Oh wow. Yeah.
500.
Yeah, I heard stories that the Queen would go to the local shops and just chat with people who were there, or be walking along the hillsides and see people camping and having picnics and go and chat to them. Incredible lady, really.
Because I worked in the media and filmed her many times in Brimar and Balmoral and Ballater, that's absolutely true, Hudson. She could walk down the street and people would keep their distance, but if she made any movement to talk to them, they would quite happily talk to her, and she made them feel very much at home. And indeed the other royals felt much the same as well. I think they feel much the same about it as well. They feel safe in Ballater. I know because you've got special branch looking after them security-wise, and you can see them relaxing there. That they would allow people to get very close, and they would move back and let the Queen or whoever was in the royal family get closer to the people, just walking up and down the street or going into shops. So it's absolutely true.
Wow, incredible. And Steve in chat there was just saying he took it harder than he thought he would. Yeah, I feel the same, Steve. I took it pretty hard as well. Like somebody mentioned before, it's like losing a grandmother, really.
We've grown up with her. Most of us here wouldn't have known a life without that sort of. It's like red phone boxes, you know. It's just something being British. It's just there. Even though sometimes you take them for granted and her for granted, she's just always behind the scenes working away and keeping everything just sort of ticking over. Not so much now, maybe. It's she seems to be the last great bastion of infirmity for the UK. But, we'll see him. Hopefully Charles King will step up and become a little bit more, a little bit more royal. Before stepping down, and then he will step down, I should think. I think he may get a couple of years, and I think he will step down and move over, and I think that's probably a good idea. But I look forward to see what he's going to do in the next in the time he's going to reign.
I think he's got a very strong woman behind him with Camilla, because she is lovely to I'll say work with, but I mean basically when you film her, that she's one of these people that doesn't expect you to get out of the way. She'll just be beside you when you're filming, instead of there's a distance of camera people that film the Royals know what to do, and the special branch trust you because they know who you are. But Camilla just doesn't bother about that. She just tends to walk up, in front of you or close to you. And I think she's a very strong person and really good fun. And I think he's got somebody good there to help him through the difficult times ahead, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's just that, he's never going to live up to the Queen, is he? We've just, like I said, we've all known the Queen for all our lives, so it's going to be a difficult one to live up. But then again, we've known Charles I've known Charles all my life. I feel I have, So, we'll have to wait and see.
He could be the right person at the right time. If you think about all the issues that he cares about, they're all the issues that are really, really key at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
Good point.
He's going to be very hard to follow, though.
Oh, I think it's impossible to follow, and it's
Yeah.
I think you've got to lead your own way and not try and. You risk disappointing a nation if you try and replace the Queen, like for like. She was loved, especially because she was a lady, and a mother. I think that's, and also the fact that she served during the war. She was there at the right time when she actually went into service. She didn't fight abroad, but she did her service. And I think that gives her, in my eyes, that gives her massive respect.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. On that note, Steve, I'll just read you a little tidbit of information throughout the flight. So Elizabeth II, Elizabeth Alexandra Mary, was born on the 21st of April 1926. And obviously, unfortunately, she passed away on the 8th of September 2022. Queen of the United Kingdom and other Commonwealth realms from the 5th of February 1952. She was Queen Regent of 32 sovereign states during her life and served as monarch of 15 of them at the time of her death. Her reign of 70 years and 214 days is the longest of any British monarch and the longest recorded of any female head of state in history. There you go. I'll be bringing up those little tidbits of information later as well.
The way you're going, James, you'll be live in the BBC next. Pretty good.
Pass. Yeah.
Stop calling you Nicholas.
Yeah, maybe.
She rightly said though, no one can compare to those stats, can they? At all, so you don't even try.
Not at all, no. It's impressive, isn't it? The longest of any British monarch, it's outstanding, really.
Yeah, I mean, she did well to get. I mean, Victoria went pretty well. She had a long reign. Yeah, very impressive. And there was just no scandal. She was one of those monarchs that was just no scandal. I think that's another reason why she was loved.
Yeah.
No scandal. She just worked hard and was the queen. That's it. Yeah. Didn't try and be somebody else.
We got Wombleway in the chat. He's just saying he's on beta, so can't see anybody, but he's flying along with us in spirit.
Evening, Mark.
Are you guys anywhere near the first waypoint yet?
Yeah, we
Passed it.
What was that?
Yeah, we've flown over Balmoral Castle. We're on our way to Prestwick Airport at the moment.
Ah, right, okay, brilliant.
So I'll give you the...
Echo Golf, Papa, Kilo.
That's alright.
Hold on, Alan.
Use the old Viking.
73
nautical miles out from Prestwick.
Yeah.
I think I might climb in the back. Look at the view. I'm going to climb in the back. Just
Don't leave your wife to play with that buttons, Stevie.
Chaps, you can reduce your altitude now. We've cleared a lot of the big hills, so I'm going to come down to 3,000 to begin with. And just use a bit of vertical speed. Nose up on the wheel, mouse up on the wheel. About 400 feet per minute descent's fine. There are a few more...
Going to say...
Go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, Hudson, that we're lucky that Orbix changed the scenery for Balmoral, because originally when the scenery before the Scotland update was pretty awful in Microsoft for Balmoral Castle. Because when it was like black or something like that. I remember it was like a black building, it was horrendous, and it was good that in the last, I don't know, maybe 7-8 months, Orbix changed that, and it's lucky they did. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to see much from Balmoral from the sim point of view.
Oh wow, yeah. I've noticed they've not added Sandringham. I mean, they've not done South yet, Orbix, but Sandringham I couldn't find in the sim. I don't know if anybody else found the same thing.
I haven't looked either.
Yeah, to be fair.
That's near Norfolk, isn't it, Sandringham? So we won't be flying that way, I'm afraid. Look at those wind farms there. I don't know, are these in the Orbix scenery or in default as well?
They're in default.
We're not quite there yet, James. You're racing ahead. Everyone's struggling to keep up.
Sorry, chaps. What am I doing? I do want to go speedily ahead, though. I'm 169, 168 knots. Try and do 170. Push it. Even if you go into the red, don't worry about it. It's difficult to break the engine of these aircraft.
I've got my foot on the throttle, and it's literally got my leg up, and it won't go. I'm pushing my desk and to get 163.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Have you got your mix, your prop? Play around with your prop, maybe bring it out a little bit.
Drop it down a little bit. Okay. Bring the mixture down to.
Yeah, let me know, chaps. I don't want to be that far ahead that you can't catch up. I'll just come down a little bit, just so you can catch up. Just come down in that view.
Yeah,
Just
no,
pull my throttle down a little bit there.
Yeah.
So just keep an eye on you. When I can see you catching up, I'll speed back up again. There we are. Live weather's fine. Touching wood at the moment.
I'm out of live time. It just looks a little dark. Come back a few hours, but live weather looks great.
Yeah.
It's just a touch dark.
Looking out my window here, it is getting dark, and I'm only about 40 miles from Balmoral.
Oh. Okay. So we should be getting to twilight or past twilight by the time we
Yeah.
reach London.
Yeah.
It's okay, we don't mind a bit of night flying, do we?
Because the Queen, where Balmoral is, used to walk into the hills a lot. She did shooting and fishing, obviously, but one of her pastimes was, in fact, to do hill walking over the hills that surround Balmoral, because it's not unusual for hikers to come across the Queen and not even know it's a Queen. That's happened to friends of mine, I would say 6 months ago, that they thought, is that the Queen? They weren't really sure. The only reason they knew it was a Queen because they had somebody there that looked like, Metropolitan Police Special Branch undercover with her, and that's the only reason. So she dressed kind of down, more camouflaged, as far as you wouldn't have known it was her, and that's one of the things that people liked about her up here.
Wow. Hey, can you imagine going for a walk down the hills and you, oh look, there's the Queen, hello.
I heard a story about her on the news. Apparently, don't know when it was, but a few years ago, she was up here and she picked up. She was driving a Land Rover and she picked up an American couple. She was obviously with the special branch guy, and they said how long had she lived up here. She said she'd lived up here most of her life, and she said, yeah, you must have met the Queen. And then she pointed to the special branch guy and said, well, I haven't, but he has.
I remember that.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic.
Weird. It's like, yeah.
We'll come on to that later as well, memories and things. I mean, we are mentioning it as we go along, but, specific memories, we all have that type of thing. But we'll save it, it's a long flight ahead. Long flight of us ahead. So we'll just carry on for a little bit. So Elizabeth was born in Mayfair, London. First child of the Duke and Duchess of York. So later King George VI and Queen Elizabeth. Her father ascended to the throne in 1936 upon the abdication of his brother. I remember that one, Edward VII. I remember reading about it, making Elizabeth the heir presumptive. She was educated privately at home and began to undertake public duties during the Second World War, serving in the Auxiliary Territorial Service. And in 1947 she married Philip, a former Prince of Greek and Denmark, and their marriage lasted 73 years until his death, of course, unfortunately, in April 2021. They had 4 children, Charles, Anne, Andrew and Edward. So there you go.
And Anne. Don't forget Anne. Oh, you did say
Yeah,
Charles
just
Anne.
did say Anne. Yeah.
He did. I thought you said and. Sorry.
Yeah. Elect the crime, I'm having trouble saying your name. You're struggling to stay airborne. Come across you online completely by accident. That's good to know. Yeah, you're welcome to tag along. Anybody's welcome to tag along. Oh, I've just clicked something. Never mind. I think I'm okay.
James, you
Yes.
mentioned you didn't remember the Duke of Windsor business back then with Mrs. Simpson. Does this current generation remember that?
Yeah.
That was quite a deal back then.
I'll probably come on to that later. I've got a whole script to go through. Yeah, that may be mentioned later. And just on that point, actually, when her father died in 1952, Elizabeth was 25 years old. That's when she became queen. My goodness, 25 years old when she became queen. It's interesting, my mother was around, she told me stories. She's still around, my mother, thankfully. She's not too well, but yeah, it's just old age. But she told me stories about remembering the Queen's coronation. And now, of course, hopefully she'll be watching Charles's coronation as well. So I'm sure you all have stories like that, your grandfather or grandmother or mother and father, remembering the Queen's coronation.
I remember it.
You do?
I was 6 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I remember it happening. We didn't have television or anything. They probably didn't televise it, but it was a pretty big deal over here in the States.
I can bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the first big outside
ever.
broadcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was groundbreaking. Yeah.
Ah. And yeah, I mean, when I was in London, I went out with my video camera, hoping to video. It was a week before the Platinum Jubilee, hoping to video Buckingham Palace and that type of thing. Couldn't move. I mean, there was hundreds of thousands of people. That's just a normal day, so that was before a big event. And it was always hugely popular. No matter the day of the week, there were literally tens of thousands of people around. You know, the famous landmarks and the palaces and goodness knows what. Yeah, it's just incredible to see, really.
I think Prince Philip used to fly up from London quite a lot to Dice, to Aberdeen. And he used to fly the plane, I think. He was took to flying quite early, I think.
Really?
As far as I know. Yeah, he took Charles up to boarding school, I think. What name of the boarding school off the top of my head? Glenarm? No, it's not Glenarm. It'll come to me. But yeah, I think he flew him up.
I think he used to fly on some of the long trips as well.
Ah.
Chaps, if you keep...
Mark just left you a comment in chat.
Oh, let me take a look. Yeah, thanks, Alan. Have a successful flight all this evening with family. Great, Mark. Thanks for dropping in. Just sneaks into the message. I'm with you in spirit. Thanks very much, Mark. Much appreciated. That's lovely. Have a lovely evening with your family. That's very important. And that's another point, isn't it? The royal family, you know. I guess they used to bicker, and obviously they had fallings out. That was all public. But it was just like like an ordinary family, wasn't it? In many respects.
It's not an easy lifestyle for them, though. It's quite difficult being in the public eye.
I think that's what a certain American lady is feeling
Yeah.
right now. That maybe it's the dream has not quite lived up to reality.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you do have to be very regimented to be part of it, don't you? And very aware
Absolutely.
that,
Yeah.
I spent a week with Prince Charles doing a documentary. Well, I was told I was doing a cooking program, so I had the wrong equipment, but that wasn't my fault. I was a producer. But anyway, I spent a week with Prince Charles in the island of Bernary, in a little croft, and I realised, because it's obviously pretty, close filming him, because it was just our unit that were filming him for this documentary, that how lonely a lifestyle it can be for him. And I don't know why he's not giving me an OBE for it, but I'm still waiting. But now he's king. He might do that now. But that was a big documentary, a national documentary, Prince Among Islands it was called.
Wow, and have you got any footage, any
I
personal
love that.
footage? Oh,
Yeah. Well, it's probably you probably look it up on YouTube. It's Selena Scott was one of the producers, and we were, well, as I say, the sound recorders and myself were given access to go wherever he went. We were like beside him all the time, and he was just wonderful to work with, very easy going. And I remember the press got on the island because they'd been kept off the island. All the local fishing boats and things kept away from the island, wouldn't let the press on the island. And eventually one media, a newspaper got on, and I happened to be in the back of a Land Rover following Prince Charles, and I hope he doesn't mind me, sir, if you're listening, hope you don't mind me saying this, but in order for him to get past the press that got on the island, he sat in the back of the open top Range Rover with a cap on and a scarf on. So they passed by not knowing that was Prince Charles. They looked, so that's the way that they kind of disguised him, and I felt that's kind of lonely that you've got to hide in the back of, or not be yourself. But that was quite something. But I mean, that would be available, I'm sure, on YouTube and stuff.
oh, look it up. Yeah. If you can leave a
Sleep
comment
on.
on Discord, maybe, of what it's called exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. Chaps, I'm slowly descending to 1,800. I'm just flying over the last of the hills around this part. And once I've passed once I've passed these hills, you can go down to 1,800 in preparation for a touch and go at runway 21 Prestwick Airport. And I'm just going to fly straight towards it. It should be visible, although the clouds in that direction are looking pretty dire. I'll just check the reverway there. I think I got next rad on the G1000, Centre G1000. Map options, yeah, it's on. It's not showing the weather formations, never mind. So there we go, I'll bring the selected altitude down to 1,800 and descend at a few hundred feet per minute, should be fine.
Which runway are you going to touch?
Runway 21, I keep saying that, 21. Runway 21. I'm sure you're all used to me doing that. Incorrect pronouncing the runways, but you all know what I mean.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, we can forgive you, James.
In fact,
We can't forgive you for calling her Your Royal Highness at the beginning, but we can forgive the runway thing, don't
Right.
worry.
Just had a computer crash, as usual.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Oh,
No.
just spawn on us, Al.
I will do.
So the number of realms varied over time as territories gained independence, and some realms became republics. Many historic visits and meetings include visits to China in 1966 and Russia in 1994 and the Republic of Ireland in 2011. That was late. And meetings with 5 different popes. My goodness. Oh, I can't see a thing in that weather. I'm going to change it to scattered clouds.
Getting a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
I'm running on few clouds. It seems to be all right.
That's good.
Well, I've used the Y key a couple of times. She decided she wanted to slow down and come down, but back up in the air again now.
Oh no. You know, I was watching The Queen with Helen Mirren, the film about the Queen, the other day. And she was saying in that film that her first Prime Minister she met was Winston Churchill. And he was teaching her how to be... teaching her lessons on how to be Queen. But I think she met with something like 15 or 16 different Prime Ministers, including Maggie Thatcher. That must have been a lot of fun for her.
That woman.
I don't think they liked each other, did they?
No, that was where the that woman. Yes, that woman quote came from. Yeah, they weren't the best of friends.
Now we've got a Thatcher wannabe.
The Queen seemed to keep her politics to herself, didn't she?
Yeah,
Did.
didn't air it, was she?
She couldn't
She has
very
to be
well
impartial, doesn't
say
she,
anything. Yeah, she'd have to be very careful.
She has to be impartial.
Right.
So they've been saying how she gets the red box or something and used to read it every day. I think, crikey. Very fast reader, she said.
Wow. It does make you wonder though, doesn't it? I mean, effectively the King or Queen does have the power to take over again. I mean, there will be riots and goodness knows what. But effectively they have the power to take over Parliament, or dissolve Parliament if they wish.
Yeah, well, that's one of the benefits. That's the don't you crash. Don't you, sorry. Oh no.
Don't you know how close she came to pressing the button was Boris around?
What I do think is quite funny is, of course, the print, the mint, is going to change. So they're going to,
Oh yeah.
and anyone who's got sitting on piles of money, it's going to be quite awkward for them. Go back and get it changed.
Of course, yes. Yeah, keep hold of any sort of shiny 2022 coins and notes would be my advice. They'll be pretty sought after in later years.
I'm storing all mine down the back of the sofa. I'm sure there's stuff from King Edward there.
It's a big sofa.
There's some shillings and things down there, yeah. Yeah, I keep all my coins away from the tax man.
That's good advice. I do accounting on the side, so yeah, I won't mention too much about that. Right, chaps, we are coming up to our first touch and go. I'm 17 nautical miles out from Prestwick, and it's pretty visible, this runway. As you'll see, as you just approach it on the actual flight route, you shouldn't have any trouble. You have to go bank slightly left to line up for it. But it's not difficult to spot if you just fly directly along the route.
Is there an ILS? Is it an ILS runway?
It is, yeah. Just beware if you mess around with ILS, it messes up your route, your GPS route, I've found. But it can do. Just be aware of that.
In that case, I'll sit on my hands and just not touch anything.
Maggie Thatcher was quite well thought of in the States, wasn't she, chaps who are from the States?
Yeah, well, you know, it depends on your politics too. She was around with Reagan, and he was certainly a big personality, a big change. I think a lot of people respected Thatcher. A lot of Americans did. But then a lot wouldn't have.
She was a common name here.
It's because she
Right,
didn't steal
right.
your milk and steal your rail service.
Yes, she did a lot for the country's well-being, but not so much for the people's well-being. Is probably
Yeah.
the best way to put it.
She built the country, built the business, but not the individual.
Yeah. It was a case of if they can't work, sod them. Really, you know. If they can't look after themselves or survive, then
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, pretty much. But they were scared of her. People apart from the Queen, obviously, but her government were petrified of her.
Yeah, absolutely. Who was it that she used to? Oh, not oh. Who was her second? Oh, it'll come to me later. But there was one chap. He had to resign. Essentially, he just couldn't take it any longer.
I think there were several of them.
Yeah.
Tough boss.
Sorry, say that again.
I say she must have been a tough boss.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
I think she just went power crazy in the end, didn't she? But unfortunately, in later life, she had dementia, so a bit of sadness there towards the end.
So did Ronald Reagan.
Oh wow, there you go.
Yeah.
Huh.
Alzheimer's.
So does my mother-in-law.
That must be a horrible, horrible disease.
It really
It
is.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, even more so for the close relatives. You know, you're someone you've known all your life, or who's your mother or father, and they don't know who you are. It's just.
Yeah. My mother's had it for about 10 years, but it's kind of.
I can't imagine it.
I mean, I'm used to it because I've worked in the healthcare industry for a number of years as well. I've done some health and safety with them. So it depends which way you look at it. At least she's not in too much sorrow, shall we say.
She's manageable, that's the main thing, isn't it?
That's right. Okay, 6 nautical miles out, chaps. I'm going to start throttling back to get to flaps 1, so maybe about half throttle or so. Just to see that white taper come up on the speed ribbon. You'll see it come up if you're watching at home in a minute.
First time I've really flown the Caravan. I actually like it.
It's a nice plane.
Ah, it's wonderful.
It is. It's really comforting to fly. It's like the Kodiak but with big fluffy slippers on.
I think it's nicer than the Kodiak. I've always said that, and everybody said, no, the Kodiak's better. But I always liked this plane, especially flying around Alaska, which I did a fair bit of. It's really a nice, gentle plane. It's really good.
And
Very
it's a lot
good.
more confidence inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very good visibility as well, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Just check something out. The runway should be visible right in front of us now.
Oh yeah. To your
There it
10
is.
o'clock.
Yeah. So I'm just going to take autopilot off, bring my screen back so I can see it. I need to throttle back a wee bit more there. Let's hope my trim wheel doesn't go crazy. It's not too bad. Steve, are you on the Bravo now?
I am.
Lovely. How are you finding it?
How are you liking it?
I'm absolutely loving it. It's still quite heavy. I mean, it's getting a little bit lighter, but you don't have to move it anywhere near as much. Literally small movements to up and down. So I'm not doing fighter aircraft with it. Oh man, the fog just jumped. Sorry, the fog just snapped in. Oh my word.
Ah,
It just snapped on like a light switch. I
Yeah.
can't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. The Bravo is awesome. Alpha is good, but the Bravo really makes it. It really does.
well, you see, I've ordered the XPC Alpha, but I've actually received the USB Logitech throttle because apparently that works with it, and I wanted to try that combination with Xbox,
Yeah,
so that should be fun.
I especially like the autopilot controls at the top, and they're very handy. I like them.
Nice, nice.
And velocity is relegated to the garage sim now. With the garage set up, so you can just have an Xbox fly around, which was anything.
Yeah. You could probably get some a good amounts for it if you wanted to sell it.
Oh no, not from what I've done to it. No, no, no. No, it's
in anger.
It's like Frankenstein's monster, to be honest. You wouldn't want to touch that. And to anybody who's listening, don't buy anything from me. Especially not that. Yeah, I did take out my anger on it with a scalpel and all sorts of stuff. So I've redone the throttles so they don't move now without ropes and pulleys.
Oh dear.
They're now a lot stiffer. So, but yeah, no, I don't think I'll sell it. I think whoever bought it would be looking to get their money back. It's not pristine by any means. It works.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it works better than when it came out of the box, but it's not pretty.
No. You had your trials with the Velocity one, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It's a great yoke and throttle. Barring the quality issues, it's a good, reliable. I mean, it worked fine. But so you get into the sim, and if you take the sim, as I have done, and I've grown with it, I needed to grow, and unfortunately, Turtle Beach weren't following through with their promises. Time to move on.
Fair enough. Chaps, I've just changed the autopilot selected altitude to 1500 feet. By the way, that's enough for our next stop. And off we go over to, I think it's Belfast International, isn't it? It's named Aldergrove in Flight Sim, but I do believe that's Belfast International, EGAA.
That used to be an army base at one time.
Did it?
I don't know. It's a question. I thought it was, but maybe not. Maybe I got it wrong.
It was. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it was.
Aces, greetings, Rossin. I did see you in the sim there, so you are flying around, and greetings to you. Righteous Owl, have a great flight. Unable to be with you, but be popping in and out. Thanks for joining us. Oh, Ninja, yes. Yes, you do normally join us, but great for you to pop into the chat. RAF base, Nick is saying in the chat there, Al.
Oh, thank you, Nick. Thank you.
So there you go, on we go. We're flying now, and it's a castle I wasn't actually aware of, or I'd not heard much about. It's the Irish residence, Hillsborough Castle. Similar to how the Queen stays at Holyrood House when officially visiting Scotland, the Queen dwells in Hillsborough during her visits to Northern Ireland. It's also the official residence of Northern Ireland's Secretary of State, built in the 1770s. There you go. It looks just like a big mansion from the pictures, Hillsborough Castle. Wasn't one I was particularly aware of.
And have you chosen the cruise height for this seaward journey?
1500. And you're well ahead of us now there, Steve.
Am I? Okay. Loop the looping.
Or not too far. I mean, it could be that you're just a couple of miles ahead. It's difficult to tell.
Oh, half a mile. I think it's because I had a quick touch and go. Okay, that's not a problem. I'm going to throttle back.
No, it's okay. You're fine. This is just another touch and go at EGAA, so it's not a problem.
I'm gonna have to reboot everything because it stopped again. So I'll be back shortly. Sorry guys, I'll be back shortly.
That's okay.
I've got a long leg, Al. That's really fine, I think.
We have
not distanced.
So, chaps, perhaps while we're on this leg, let's just take a look at the mileage there, which is still, what are we, 65 nautical miles out. Maybe we could talk about memories of the Queen. I mean, mean, probably some of my first memories would be the silver anniversary. We had massive
Oh, yeah.
street parties at the time, everywhere in England. It just seems like the whole of England, communities were very different in those times, in the 60s and 70s. But we just had enormous street parties, and that was probably my first proper memory of celebrating the Queen's anniversary. Talk about more later. Anybody want to add to that or have their own memories?
Was that 77? It was, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
77.
Yeah.
So we'd just gone through that summer the year before where we'd had the hottest summer ever, and the summer was good. I do remember it. I was so I was six years old, coming on 7 years old, and I lived in a street where we couldn't have a street party because it was a main road. But I remember literally every other street that it was possible, cul-de-sac or was closed off, and I just remember the bunting, just bunting everywhere. Anything that was nailed down had bunting on it.
That's right.
It's a British thing, bunting. That for me seems.
What is bunting for us Yanks?
Go on, James.
Go on, Steve. No, you're doing a good job.
Bunting is a ribbon of small flags. Usually, in our case, it's triangular flags with the Union Jack on, but it could be anything really. But it's usually a line of ribbon or rope with flags or pendants along it. So in a 6 foot length, you would have a dozen or more little flags or little pendants. And that's stretched from whatever you want, from lamppost to lamppost, or from window to window.
Yeah, I learned something new.
If you watched any of the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, you probably would have seen a lot of bunting. It's like little triangles, Union Jacks and triangles, all put on a big string all around, effectively, or flags, as Steve was saying.
I don't know if it's a worldwide thing or if it's just a British thing. I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure other countries must have bunting.
Yeah, I'd heard the term, but I never knew what it meant.
So, yeah, but massive. I mean, they really were, as you were saying there. Every street, everywhere you went just seemed to have a celebration. I mean, I remember the celebration where we were in the north of the country, in Lancashire. And the whole estate, in fact, the whole of the town, it seemed to be, would bring food and cakes. And we would have a wild time being younger, of course.
A lot of jelly and ice cream was eaten that day.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I remember being very sick at the end of the day. Cake, jelly and ice cream. But that was it. No, it was go for it, wasn't it? It was, Mum and Dad were like, no, go for it. Just, it's once in a lifetime, go for it. It was cheap. Obviously, we were just out of austerity then, so jelly was cheap, ice cream was cheap, cake wasn't too bad, but it was easily made. Everybody could make jelly. Most people could make cakes, and ice cream was abundant. So, yeah, food, lots of food.
It really was. Chaps, just where my aircraft is, I'm flying towards an island, and it seems to be inhabited. Anybody know the name of this island? You'll see when you fly over it, there's a couple of buildings on it.
Oh.
Elisa Craig Lighthouse.
Ah, fantastic.
That's off the little down map.
Shamrock.
It's not Elsa Craig. I think it's the way you pronounce it. I think Elsa
Craig, yeah.
If you when you fly over it, you'll see a road going around. It's quite. It might be just a coastal path, but it looks pretty good in flight sim as well. It must be encompassed in the north, Orbix North. I'm imagining, maybe.
Sorry to interrupt. Can anybody tell me what are the keys for getting ahead? You know, to get
Why?
far.
Defaults.
Why an 8?
Why, Nate? Thank you.
Page up and page down for me. I haven't changed them.
Y first, then 8, and then back to
Yeah.
Y again.
Thank you.
Martin, do you have memories of your own celebrations or your first sort of, any memories you want to share?
Me? I'm not really. I'm afraid you're asking the wrong person. Never been a real royal person, but I've never really been one for street parties and things like that. So just watch it on the telly, basically. Just whenever it come on, my mum would just have it on all day long. Yeah, but obviously as you get older, you become more of it, I guess. And I have to admit, I've sat downstairs over the last couple of days and had a few tears. It's very, very emotional. She was a lovely lady. That's all we can really say about her.
Yeah.
I've never had, I've had Duke of Edinburgh and people that have come to schools and different things in my lifetime, but I've never really been anywhere near the Queen. But yeah, she does. She really feels like a passed away grandmother. It's very sad.
Very sad. Yes.
But she did have a good innings. And unfortunately, it comes to all of us.
Does, yeah. I mean, that's very true. She did have a good innings, 96, 97, really.
Yeah.
Just go back to the YouTube chat for a second before I get lost in that and don't catch up. Nick is saying, did the fleet review for the Trafalgar 200 and gave her a salute from HMS Lancaster. Oh wow, Nick, that's fantastic.
Nice.
Aces is saying you do have bunting in the US. It's commonly known as garlands and banners.
Oh, okay.
Banners, yeah.
Yeah.
Banners, yes.
Nick again.
Just having a flag is more popular in the States. As Brits, having an individual flag on a building is not so popular and disapproved of in some aspects. So that's why bunting, I think. But then again, bunting, we have bunting at royal occasion and in football as well, don't we? When we've got World Cups.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, a typical bunting will have big ribbons, like like Christmas ribbons, sort of stuff.
No, they just have triangular banners, triangular flags hanging down, so they're pointing downwards.
I mean, if you put your fingers in a triangle, your fingers in a triangle, you're looking at something around that size, about 6 to 8 inches. So that seems to be about. It hasn't really changed in 50 years.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe when I was very young, I could remember that sort of thing, with solid colored triangles, probably red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, to get ahead, fast forward, what is the controls?
Y and B. Y and 8.
I tried that. Okay, thank you. I'll try again. Thank you.
You could maybe try page up for speeding up the sim. Now, if you're in the air, level, you can speed up time on the stim.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I mean, it works for me on page up and page down. Slows it down, page up, slows it up.
Gotta say, whoever's flying the F-18 in formation with me, fantastic flying. Really enjoying that. Getting the Royal Escort. That's really nice.
Martin's found the key. He's getting shot by Mark's head.
Yeah, I've just done a bit of a catch up. I think I might be right under Allison now, right on his tail.
Oh, well, just going to let the
Oh yeah, I can see you, yep. See you just underneath me, to the right. Oh, wonderful, wonderful chaps, wonderful. Okay, the F-18 is showing off now, but what do you expect?
Sorry, Steve, did you
If
just
I'm going to be a
press-
screen hog, I'm going to be there, so sorry. Go on.
Sorry, Steve, is it just press the page up 9 button? Is that all?
For me, it's just page up on the
Oh,
on the numpad key, and it speeds up once. It speeds up 50%, and then I'm do it 2 or 3 times, and you're going about 4 times the sim, and then come back down again. But I don't think I've remapped my controls.
I've just tried my method and it works. Maybe guys will tell you that.
it doesn't seem to be working for me then. Okay, thank you.
Al, we're coming up to Echo Golf Alpha. We're
Thank you.
catching go. That's our next airport.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you. I'll come in there. Thank you.
My God.
Is that you, Maverick, just beneath me?
Yeah, it is. Christ, that's close.
That's fantastic. It's like having a shadow beneath me.
I better slow down a little bit. I'm coming just in front of you.
By the way, chaps, I'm using on the velocity one, Steve. On the velocity one, it's showing fuel low. So if you've got default fuel, you might want to check. I'm going to risk it and see if I can get to the Isle of Man, because we're doing a full stop on the Isle of Man. So I'm going to risk it to see. I'm going to check the fuel now. I'm 25 gallons, 25% rather, 41 gallons. So I might be okay. But I do like that aspect. It will save fuel low and start flashing when you get dangerously low.
Yeah, they got that very right.
Yeah. And anybody else while we're here? So we talk about memories of the Queen, celebrations, of times you remember fondly. Surely some other people have good memories.
I remember covering an oil opening of some firm, I forget which one it was, it might be BP or Shell, and the Queen did one of these things where you obviously hand over to the Queen and she pulls the string and the curtains open and behind it's a plaque, and this is what she did that, and the plaque completely fell down, much to the shock of all the executives there, but she didn't bat an eyelid. And of course everybody applauded her that she didn't even bat an eyelid. And the fact that the whole curtains and everything fell down, and you know, it left a plaque there in front of the whole media and hundreds of people. It's a quite amazing talent to do that.
Good grief.
Lost the flight plan. It's gone.
Yeah, me too.
It's just disappeared halfway through. Okay, it's not that funny. It's in this level. Why has that disappeared? Can't get them back either, can I? Let's fly.
What's happening, Steve?
The flight plan's disappeared from the
Oh.
G1000.
Can you see it on the VFR map?
Hold on, hang on, I've got to figure out.
Make sure you've not pressed your CDI button. You might be in lock 1, maybe. It might affect it.
GPS. GPS, lock 2. No, it's physically, no, it's disappeared. It's literally not there.
Does seem a bit buggy, the G1000 in the Grand Caravan, I've noticed. I've had a few issues myself.
Well, I follow you guys.
Okay. We're going to follow you, Al. You're way ahead.
Don't worry, I'll come back once I
Okay.
can find out what you guys are.
Yeah, we can see you now.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, another big occasion was the royal wedding, Diana and Prince Charles, and my mother had that on constant play. She must have watched it 1,000 times. But that was another big celebration. Up in the north, at least, we had big parties.
I was on my summer holiday in Cornwall camping, and we were the only people on the campsite with a television. We had a little, 8-inch or 9-inch, maybe a 10-inch colour television for some reason. Why? I think it's because it was on, and the whole campsite was gathered round. So there must have been, 70, 80 people all coming and going all around the tent. But yeah, I remember a lot of food there as well.
That's your favourite
That was a hot
memory,
day
the
too.
food.
Yeah, that was a hot day. That was a very warm day. I do remember.
Yeah, I remember that, yes. F-18 incoming to escort the tribute flight. Yeah, absolutely. Cryptex and Ren Flyer. I remember her opening the QE2 bridge right where you live. My goodness, that must have been good to witness. Yeah, I remember that, the QE2 bridge. QE2 bridge, yes, yes, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Okay, now on that, let's just read a little bit more history there. Significant events include Elizabeth's coronation in 1953, although she was the Queen in 1952, and celebrations of her silver, golden, diamond and platinum jubilees in 1977, 2002 for the golden, 2012 for the diamond, and obviously 2022 for the platinum, respectively. Elizabeth was the longest lived British monarch, we know that, and the second longest reigning sovereign in world history. My goodness. Second longest reigning sovereign in world history. Only behind Louis the 14th of France. So there you are.
Really?
Her mum, of course, was quite a character as well, because she used to go or spend a lot of time up at Castle May up in Wick, northeast of Scotland. And one of the things that her mum used to do when she was young was with a lady in waiting to try and climb down the drain pipe and go out to the pub and go for a drink with
I
a
heard
local.
about that, yep.
And that's absolutely true. I can tell you that's absolutely true, because we interviewed somebody that knew this. You were doing it, but that was the game, was to get down the drain pipe, go to the pub, have a few drinks, and get back up and past all the police and all the people that are supposed to be looking after her. So that's quite interesting that she had a good sense of humour as well.
Yeah. Certainly.
Yep. The Queen Mum had a great smile. She always seemed to be pretty happy, and
Yeah,
you'd see her.
She did, yeah. Salt of the Earth. Chaps, I'm 16 nautical miles out, so we should get... So just be aware that you'll be coming up on... where are we? EGAA. Aldergrove Airport. Runway 25, it's to your left. If you're going down the flight route, if you're just on the flight route, it's to your left, the runway. Just a slight turn left. And again, it's pretty prominent, this one, so you should be okay. Just gonna sync the heading bug. So left click and hold the heading knob and right click, just in case. And Al, you're right over Aldergrove at the moment, so you should be.
Well, I'm hopefully coming towards you. It's difficult to see which way you're coming, but
okay.
But I'll have to join you to follow you guys, because I haven't got the map. So
Okay.
Stevie and I will be lost souls otherwise. You never see us again. Go round in circles.
Well, that Al, you know that would not be the first time.
No, right.
And chaps from the state. Okay, we can come to this later. I'm not going to pick on individual people, but it will just be good to get your memories as well. But let's just concentrate on the landing first, because the light's not the best over that part, but never mind. So 12 nautical miles out from where I am at the moment. Plenty of time.
I could be sitting in a discus with a tow rope behind you.
That would be useful.
Yeah.
I mean, Martin, you're
just lead the
directly
way.
behind me. Yeah, that's fantastic.
just keep the direction going right. Guide me in.
I'm just going to take a quick look at Little Nav Map. I'll bring Little Nav Map up later for the stream, but I can see I'm heading directly towards it, so that's not a problem. It's very useful, Little Nav Map, isn't it? Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Probably the most useful tool I've used out of all tools I've reviewed. Little Nav Map.
Have you ever tried Plan G?
Sorry, say again?
Have you ever tried the Plan G? It's sort of the opposite to Little Nav Map.
I haven't, no.
No, that's quite a good one to use.
Put it back.
Oh, okay, thanks for the suggestion. I'll look that one up and maybe do a quick review on that. It's always good for people to know.
Plan G. Yeah.
Got my flight plan back.
How did you do that?
Just went through the map, cycled through the navigation, and it came back for some
Oh,
reason.
fantastic.
EG, as long as it is the correct one, it doesn't. Oh, well, no, we are Northern Ireland. Sorry, yeah. Okay, yeah, EG, yeah. So that, but it's having to work then for that.
Good to know.
Yeah, it was. I think it was because the map was split with.
I think I see the airport, the runway, so I've just flown over it, not flown over it, but I'm just flying. Just going to bring the throttle down, chaps.
Thanks for the advance warning.
I do apologise, it just sprung up on me. It's just here for the viewers at home.
Oh. Air brakes.
The light's not the best at where I am at the moment, so it's difficult to pinpoint. Right. And it's a flaps. Let's take it off autopilot.
I'm gonna go with the foggy one. Let's have a foggy landing.
Yeah, there are lights because of the lights. Well, the lights in my sim at least, I can see the lights for the runway slightly. So just need to come to the left slightly, and I'm slow down to flaps 1 speed now. What am I doing? Still 100 knots, but we should be okay. See a couple of people to the side of me have a very good lineup for the runway. Excellent. That's the runway right there for the viewers at home. So another touch and go here, chaps. Did any of you practice this flight by chance?
No, not me.
No. It's not the most difficult flight, really. It's quite a gentle flight. It's more a tribute.
Coming out the fog.
Lovely. Let's just take a quick look behind us. Oh, look at that. They're all coming in behind me, chaps. Quick touch and go. If you stick it on autopilot, as soon as you're back up in the air and you've got positive rate of climb, you should be following the route. You should follow the route straight towards the, what's it called? Hillsborough Castle. There we go, a bit off centre line as usual, but we should be okay. It's just a quick touch and go. Oh, don't want to fly into those yellow things.
This airport was not marked for me. Not on the.
Had a bit of a bounce there, but I'll take that as a touch and go. Back up in the air. Raise the flaps up. And effectively, if I stick autopilot back on now, because I'm in GPS mode, yep, it's going very low there. I'm just going to encourage the vertical speed. And I'll take a quick look behind me to see if anybody's crashed into the... Oh, I can see a few people, few of you landing there. Lovely. Fantastic. What a lovely view. Oh, there's quite a few of us. I didn't realise. That's great. Suck it all down and back up. I'll get him back up, which is good. Chaps, for this one, I'm just going to lower my altitude to 1,000 feet, just so we can fly over at a lower altitude. The Irish residence. So let's just vertical speed. Did I turn it off? I did. So let's just lower that altitude a little bit. And I've got landmark markers on, so just so we can see clearly where we're approaching. When we get to London, I'm going to have to turn them off because there's so many landmarks. It's pretty obvious in London. Yep, looks like everybody's back up. That's great. And remember, Isle of Man is going to be a full stop. So, chaps, I hope you realise what we're doing here. We're flying through the whole of the UK, effectively. So, Scotland to Northern Ireland to the Isle of Man to over Wales as well, and then on to England. Celebrating all the territories. Or all the countries, rather. Territories is not the best word to use, but all the different countries. Are you all still with me? Everybody's gone very quiet.
Yep.
Oh, great. So, chaps in America... Sorry, carry on.
Yes.
Alright, go on. No, I was just trying to find my autopilot. It's sending me in circles.
Ah,
I'll find it in a minute.
I'll just read something in chat there. Hi, Lee7 is. One more way, the Queen was unveiling a plaque to commemorate the opening... I'm going to just expand that chat box. Opening of a motorway. And father-in-law was working behind the scenes, and the Queen was told to press a button to open the curtains. The button wasn't connected to anything. There was a fella frantically pulling a piece of string to open the curtains and make it appear as if the Queen had done it. How's that?
It reminded the Billy Connolly joke of the Queen must think the world smells of new paint. There's a man 6 feet in front of him painting everything.
Ah, of course. Oh, so funny one that, Dave. One more way. Very good. So flying over Hillsborough, I did mention about Hillsborough into the official Irish residence. Hillsborough Castle. Not particularly well represented in the sim, but it's basically a big house rather than a castle-esque. It's more a sort of mansion-esque. Would be the best way to describe it.
Make me home.
Yeah.
Yeah, great house.
My placed.
Yeah.
So there we go, just about to fly over that, and hopefully, oops, just checking that GPS is on, it is. So once we reach Hillsborough, we should fly onto the next part of the route, automatically. Yep, and we are, there you go, that's Hillsborough Castle for those at home. Yeah, it's big grounds, yeah, I mean, I guess it's castle-like looking at it from up here. Yep. And I'm just going to increase the altitude back to 1500 now. So, Steve, are you finding the, because I'll obviously be getting one soon, are you finding the Bravo set as intuitive to use as the Velocity
Yes.
1 was? Ah, good.
More so, to be honest. The lights are a complete waste of time. The actual SIP lights, because the throttle's completely covered, you can't see them. So you would just generally ignore those. The autopilot lights, fantastic. They're really handy and they work. Everything seems to work and it's intuitive. The SIP lights only work with certain aircraft, and at the moment they're not. The gear up and down lights only work with certain aircraft. Obviously, if it's not a geared aircraft, they don't work. But the SIP lights don't really seem to work much, and you can't see them. Just the throttles cover them. So again, with myself, I ignored the SIPs on the Velocity anyway. So, and if you fly in VR, then it doesn't matter. But generally, no, I didn't pay any attention to the lights. You can see what's on the dashboard. It's more important to look at the dashboard for me and get used to the aircraft rather than keep looking away.
And how's
No,
it?
it's
How,
surprised.
Sorry, continue. Who?
I was just gonna say none of my lights on my Bravo are working. Hopefully, in this update, we'll fix that.
The bridge, have you got the AFC bridge?
Yeah, I've deleted that, reinstalled it many times.
Oh, okay.
They used to work, but they've just quit.
Oh dear. And
Now
how?
on X-Plane, they work perfectly on X-Plane in the demo.
Oh, you brought up another subject I was going to bring up there, but I'll save that one.
Oh, yeah.
Go on, you brought it up. Explain.
It's a
12.
subject.
I'm still fanning out the bloody flames from my video I released. It seemed that I got the most wretched comments on. I was looking at other videos. I seemed to get all the terrible comments on mine. I mean, you know, listen. I grew up with Commodore 64 and ZX81 and goodness knows what, and Amiga, and we had many flight sims. There doesn't need to be only okay. At the moment, there is only one aviation simulator, which is Microsoft Flight Simulator. But it's good to have a choice. What are other your thoughts on this?
Yeah, choice. Always good to have a choice.
Mission's always
Made
good.
off good, yeah.
Yeah. What I'd
Absolutely
really miss,
something.
what I'd really miss with X-Plane is multiplayer. Are they planning on doing anything there?
I believe it's in. There's a way to do it. I've not looked specific. I don't even have it. I've not bought it. I still have the demo of X-Plane. I'm still contemplating it. Specifically because I can't see myself using it. I'll be using Flight Sim more. Give it a year or two, then I may look at it again.
I have seen a multiplayer in there. I can't remember which tab it's under. I don't know what it does either, but it is there.
Okay. Sorry, just catch up with
X-Plane was
chat
always good.
quickly. You can't bring up flight plan in the chat. You'll have to go to Discord. And Scott, we're heading towards Isle of Man Airport now. So if you just go to World Map North Europe server and look between Ireland and the Isle of Man, just spawn in on us. Carry on, Steve.
I was gonna say X-Plane was I'd never used X-Plane in a leisure scenario, but with the MOD, X-Plane was used as testing and simulation back in in the mid 2000s to late 2010. It was always used for simulation for pretty much any aircraft that's been developed, especially UAVs. But looking back, it does seem very basic compared to what we've got now. If this was out back in 2005, and we wouldn't have had the computing power to run it, to be honest. I just don't think it was there. It was good for the time, and it served its purpose, and the flight dynamics were fantastic. And there's a lot of military aircraft, there's a lot of missiles, there's a lot of UAVs are flying around now purely because of X-Plane.
X-Plane.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great, if you're learning to fly, apparently it's a better one to use. The dynamics in it are fantastic. It's how you would expect aircraft to behave. It's just, I mean, look, I'll just show the people at home, and you're seeing this if you're flying. The depth perception in Flight Simulator, the shadowing and the clouds, nothing compares to it at the moment. It just feels real. And X-Plane unfortunately doesn't. It still feels like a simulation, which purely a simulation. Which, if it's not your cup of tea, I can appreciate it, and it probably will be something I'll pick up in the future. It just doesn't give that same.
I can't see why you would want to. I mean, this does it all. I mean, I had X-Plane 11 right from when it came out.
Yeah.
And I used to just dream of. They used to display these pictures of looking at the motorway with all the cars and everything looked photogrammetry. And I used to sit there and think, bloody hell, I'm never going to be able to afford a PC to run that and be that powerful. And then all of a sudden, they bring this out and it's there. You've got everything. and the way it's improved over 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to think as well, everything that comes with this, or a lot of stuff that's come with this, has been free, you know. And each time, you know, I think the update 6 was the last one that was quite a big update for everyone, and I noticed that the frame rates dropped considerably, which made everything, you know, for components in a PC, you know, that would save you an awful lot of money. And I believe this next update is going to do the same. So you know, anything that makes it run smoother and you know, gives you more, you know, satisfaction when you're flying, you know, that's all you need. But I can't see the point in comparing two different ones, and X-Plane 12 is just not up to it yet, even though I've seen some fantastic pictures. You know, but that's my side of it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you look at the advancements in jetliners in Microsoft Flight Simulator. You know, the Fenix A320, the 737, the 146 Professional. It's all there, isn't it? It's a whole package at the moment.
Yeah. What we've all ever wanted.
Yeah.
You know, it's just amazing. And getting better every time there's an update.
Hopefully, don't jinx us. Oh, my fuel low.
Yeah.
Fuel low is flashing red. So chaps, if you're flying default fuel,
going in the water.
I've got 14% in. I think I should make it to the Isle of Man. I'm going to risk it. So when I get the red flashing master warning, I've got to be aware. That's interesting. I love that. I love that. Yeah, but
we can drop you a couple of life rafts out on the way.
Go on, carry on, Steve. Yeah.
Something that's not been discussed, and I've never heard any forums discussing it, is in the future we've got electric aircraft to look forward to.
Yeah.
Ah.
I mean, I know for sure. I mean, we know there's 2 or 3 electric GA aircraft out small, but I know from having filmed and worked down at where we Gatwick filming. It was when I was working for the MOD company. We were down at Gatwick, and we were looking into plans and discussions of the A320 Neo being electrified. And,
really?
Oh, absolutely. It's being done. I think they have a flight. I think Airbus have a flight, a usable flight chassis going, but obviously technology is improving and it's nowhere near. I'm pretty sure. In fact, this was 4 years ago. They had a flyable aircraft for electric. What the range was, it wasn't discussed, but they admitted they did have an aircraft that was electric, of an A320. And they were looking at going electric within the next 15 years, and this was 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think they've got to start with making the batteries a lot lighter.
Yeah.
I think
We've got that to look forward to with this. There'll be lots of aircraft coming out electric. I for one, am looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was in London recently, everything was electric. Delivery trucks, buses were electric, taxis were electric. It's big time in London at the moment. Electric
really
vehicles.
moved on. I just say when they make an electric transit van, then you know we're sort of getting there, and they're there.
Yeah. Yeah, there are, aren't there? There's electric transit vans around. I saw them in London, all electric.
Yeah, they're great idea.
Well, the Discus 2C's got an electric motor in it if you want to play with that.
So chaps, we're passing past Ireland now. We come out of Northern Ireland and we're passing towards now back into the UK. Well, towards the Isle of Man and towards England. So we're towards Wales first, of course, and then England. So we're doing well, probably just over halfway, so or more.
Full stop here, correct?
Yeah, full stop here. Yeah, yeah. And if you need to use the loo, feel free.
Where are you guys landing at?
The Isle of Man.
Echo Golf November Sierra.
That is correct.
I just had to switch my light on because it was getting dark in the room. Although it's not too dark in the sim at the moment, so that's good.
And what server are you guys on?
North Europe.
North Europe.
Thank you.
I'll just catch up on chat there. X-Plane needs to have live streaming yet. Douglas, I completely agree. They dropped the ball on that one. This scenery doesn't look much better than X-Plane 11. You don't know the area. Scott, was that you that just asked about the Isle of Man?
Yeah.
Great.
Have the flight dynamics improved, or were they spot on anyway with X-Plane 11?
They were pretty good on X-Plane 11 to be fair. I mean, I only played the demo, but it felt just as good.
So you can't really improve. It seems like almost a patched version rather than a new version.
Yeah, it really does. But I think we've got to give it a bit of time as well. I think there's more coming. So chaps, I'm 19 nautical miles out from the Isle of Man now. The runway is going to be to the right of us, runway 8 at the Isle of Man, I believe. Yep, runway 8. I'm going to refer to the little nav map. I could mess around with heading mode here. I'm contemplating it just to go into heading mode. So I'm just going to sync the heading bug. Last time I did this, it messed my map up, so I'm just going to be a little bit careful with it.
About the multiplayer in the other sim, it's under the network tab.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Alan. That's great. And Al, are you still with us? Al what?
Yes, I'm
Great.
right behind
Brilliant.
you, just following you. Yep.
So the land you can see ahead of us there is the Isle of Man, of course. Just want to catch up on aces there. X-Plane 11 is FAA approved in the US. Microsoft Flight Simulator is not. Currently X-Plane 12 is in early release beta. That's true, it's in beta mode. Keep that in mind. So any reviews may be outdated on full release. Room for improvement, absolutely. Yeah, on both platforms. Absolutely. I mean, it's like DCS World. I love playing that, and that's, you know, I mean, was it the Warthog? Pilots were training on the DCS simulator framework. So it was training real-world pilots because they had all the buttons working in the Warthog. That's pretty incredible. So I enjoyed playing that back in the day. Is it how do you pronounce that? Warthog or Warthog?
A warthog.
Warthog. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to slow down at 10 nautical miles from this airport because you've got to line up for it. It's at the back of the island is the best way, and there's a little jut of land next to the airport. That's the best way I can describe it. So towards the other end of the island as you're coming towards it, and there's a little jut of land, like a little line heading out, and the runway's next to that. So I'm not going to change, I'm not going to go into heading mode, I'm going to fly directly towards it, but I am going to slow now, get myself down to flaps stage 1 speed.
I might land in the wrong runway because you've all disappeared.
Okay.
Yeah.
That might be
Yeah.
I've
the
lost
wrong.
everybody too.
Yeah, you're not alone. We've all
Yeah.
got
No, you are alone.
Yeah, I'm very much alone.
Right.
solo
You are
pilot.
alone.
Yeah, I don't see anybody. Ah,
Yep.
Oh, wonderful.
Jump out the server and jump back in again.
yeah, it could be an idea. We can stop at the Isle of Man and do that, I think, if nobody appears.
Well, it could be one of two things. It's either simultaneous time travel, and we've all travelled to a different dimension,
Yes.
or Microsoft Flight Sim's buggered again.
Yeah, I'll take the latter.
Airing on the second
Either
one.
are equally
Uh-oh.
possible. Yeah.
I just got a warning. Game servers are currently unavailable.
Oh, don't say that.
Oh,
Multiplayer and live
Yeah, I've
air
just got it.
traffic.
People can see it on stream now. Yeah, game servers are currently unavailable. Multiplayer will not be available. Oh,
I
good
want that
timing.
X-Plane 12.
I'm connecting.
I
I've got a
was
green
going
one
to say
too.
that.
Now
I
it's
kinda
connecting.
Yeah, I'm
I thought
connecting.
that-
Playing with the shiny buttons again.
Oh, they changed shift. That's what it is. They changed
Yep.
shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody,
I want that
somebody
X-Plane
took the
12.
keys out.
The cleaner's come in and turned off all the servers while he polishes it, and then turned it back on again.
So
The
if you,
beta readers come in.
if
I
you,
think they're messing about with this with the servers this week.
Yeah.
You know, I think
Oh.
they're messing about quite a lot.
yeah,
Well, they're probably prepping for the sim update 10.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you could
Steve,
be, yeah.
I can see you, Steve. Are you landed?
No.
I can see you just
No.
ahead of me there, so that's great. You've come back, and I can see a few more people. So you've all
Yeah.
come back. Yep.
Yeah.
Coming on for a lineup.
Right.
So it's just next to that strip of land, that kind of line, the runway. It's the best way I can. The right-hand side of the island.
08, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're coming in at
Zoom in a bit, see if I can see it. So it's roughly for the viewers at home. Let's just see.
Darn it, now you'll be able to see my ILS attempt.
Oh, I see it. Rosen is down. Rosen 213 is down on the floor, and there's a Snicker Jam on the floor, so that's where they are.
Okay. Yes, so it's there, I believe, for the viewers at home. Now, Russ is not down yet. I don't think. Right. Autopilot off, don't mess up trim wheel. Yep, that's not too bad.
Oh, I've got it. Yeah. There's a river before it, which is a bit off-putting. You think that's the runway, but it's not quite in line. The river shows easier than the runway does.
Yeah.
It's only another sort of 15 degrees. Oh, I've lost it now. There we go.
It's not
I
the-
wish I could go back 2 updates ago because my sim's been atrocious since the last update.
Oh
Been
dear.
You've not had a lot of luck, have you? You've
No,
had
not
luck
at
the
all.
last few months.
No. Any live sort of sort of sim get-togethers has been useless. That sim I was training in, just no point. Because I've just been crashing.
Is the land around you lighting up as you fly over? It's like a magic
Yes.
squares or something. It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
Color coming in.
Oh,
Red
that's,
color.
I'm glad it's not just me then.
What, like Michael Jackson in his
Yeah, pretty
video?
much.
Ah,
Yeah, it's getting really bright
it's
green.
more difficult to spot that runway. Is that the runway? Maybe it's not, but
I am
Oh.
literally just
not
Right
as if
behind you,
now.
James. I hope it's the runway.
I think it is. It's just obscured a bit. Oh, I'll tell you what, it will do. It wasn't the runway.
I am.
And
I have
oh,
touched down.
look, I've got. Oh, there we go. We're down. Perfect landing. I'm sure the people at home will.
Wow, bounce.
Oh dear. No, don't follow me.
Okay.
I'm okay, but I got the runway there.
I am down in the centre of
I'm gonna fly over.
RGB farms are lighting up, says Bill. You might not know this, the Queen was the one maintaining the service. There you go. She was quite a woman. Let's just take a look at camera, shell case. Where is that bloody runway?
Yeah, the fields keep popping up. That's
Yeah.
Yeah. Dark.
Very
or saturated
destructive.
green.
Yeah.
That was doing the same thing to me yesterday
Ah, there's a runway.
around here.
Oh dear. That's the runway right here. Chaps at home. Slightly off. actually what I shall do before I set off again. I did have enough fuel, thankfully. Have any of you managed to land? Go on, carry on.
Anybody see Sim Pilot 420 here? Am I in the right spot?
Probably. I'm not sure if any of us are in the right spot at the moment.
Hold on, 1 second. Whereabouts are you? Ground or sky, Tim?
I'm on the ground near runway 25, I think. What are some of your names?
No, we've got Don't Ask Me Why, Tunes Himself. Just landed is Doberman. Rosen.
I see Ray's
down.
name.
Are you on sim update, Sim Pilot? I mean, are you on the beta?
Oh yes, I'm on the beta.
Oh,
yeah,
you
you
won't
probably
show
won't
up.
be able to
Playing
it.
it.
You'll be on your own mostly. Well, actually, you might see one. When you're on the beta, do you see other beta users, or do you just see?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see Sim Pilot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I see a lot of people here. Yeah.
Okay, chaps. Do feel free now. If you need to go up, walk about and stretch your legs, etc. Do feel free. We've probably got about 45 minutes left or so. Or if you need to use the loo.
Yeah, I think I need to. I'm gonna take the headset off first because I made that mistake before.
Yeah, so feel free. We'll just pause for a few minutes. I'll just keep people company just for a little while, and you can do likewise if I need to.
I should imagine Al has got stories of people keeping their wireless mics on while they go and do other things.
Yeah.
Go on, Steve, do it. Keep your mic on.
Oh yeah, people just forget. Yeah, they just forget they've got a wireless mic, and you've been oh man, I've heard some stories.
Yeah, I remember doing at London Weekend a Doctor in That House. I don't know if you remember it. A situation comedy.
Yeah,
One of the actresses went to the loo, and sound were out of the control room and did the mic up, and of course everything was heard all in front of the audience, live audience. And she was really embarrassed when she came out. I mean, really, really embarrassed. And you know, it was very funny, but we all felt very sorry for her.
do forget. I don't think I've done any TV media stuff like that with mics, but I did a few weddings 10 or 12, 15 years ago, and I do remember the bridesmaid forgetting, not the bridesmaid, the groom, because we'd never mic up the bridesmaid, the bride, the groom had a lapel mic on hidden, and he was talking about knocking off one of the bridesmaids a couple of the night before, and I had to remind him. Yeah, I had to remind him, David, don't forget you've got a mic on. He went, oh my god, I said, I'm saying a word. This is mad. This was literally 20 minutes before the wedding, you know, waiting in the church, and I'm listening to this, and oh my god. Lots of toilet ones, lots of people going to the loo and forgetting they've got it on and having discussions, but yeah, that was a bit of a deal breaker.
Just catch up with chat there. Ace is saying he has to go enjoy your flight and remember us. Thanks, Aces. Bill saying maybe Huddison died probably a few times. And Bill also said that Flight Simulator 2020 is definitely such a change and it's very exciting. And Bill saying, I love those ATC recordings when a pilot accidentally does his passenger announcement over ATC frequency. They always feel like they talk forever. Yep, absolutely. Oh yeah, when he does the passenger announcement over ATC frequency, I've got you. Yes, it took me a while, that one. So we're just pausing just for a few moments, chaps. We're on our last leg. We're probably the most important leg now, flying over Wales, and then on to Windsor Castle. Fly past there, fly past over the landmarks of London, including Buckingham Palace, of course. All the famous places. And then landing at London City. as you can see there, who's that behind me? Directly behind me, they have the Huddison livery. You can see that, and to the right of me there, you can see another Huddison livery. Sorry, it's Ace's livery, essentially, the Union Jack livery. So that's great. Just going to jump in the cockpit to see which direction that aircraft is. Should be lining up. Yep, straight ahead, directly ahead, effectively. So we're still at 1500. Let's just make sure. And that'll be fine.
I'm back down the runway and join you guys.
I've been stuck on roll, James, and I've just clicked on what is it, CDI, and it's gone back to GPS. But now I've lost all my flight plan.
Oh, Steve, you had a similar issue, didn't you?
Yeah, I think if you scroll through manage to scroll through the map, it came back. It's not. I don't think it is gone. I think it's just. Have you got a split screen on that one, Martin?
No, I haven't.
It's just full map. The center screen.
Ah, no, I've got it. Sorry, it's on the other.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've got it. It's on the other one. Yeah. Sorry. I have to. Yeah, James knows I've got a visual problem, so I have to have everything big, and I forget to look at the other screen.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to thank you, James, because I'm now a big fan of the Caravan.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
I really like it.
Oh, I love it. It's probably yeah, it's definitely one of my favourites compared to with the Cessna 172.
Easy flying, I think it's just. But as it's the turboprop too, it's just yeah, I really like it.
Yeah.
Is there an update for this Caravan? So you thought there was a recent update for one of them. Was it the Caravan or the?
Don't think so. It's a default aircraft. There might be for the
right.
G1000.
Yeah.
Are we all back-seated, chaps?
Almost.
Yes, almost.
Okay. Yep, take your time. Let me just stand up for a few seconds. Oh. It's a long goal flight, isn't it? But it is a special occasion. That's why, you know, we had to do the whole lot, basically.
Oh yeah. We couldn't have left out El Moro.
No. No, I was originally taking off from Prestwick, but it didn't feel right. I thought, no, we have to do it. And that's why she passed away, so...
Jeez, was that bones I heard cracking when you got up?
I was stretching, I was doing a few squats, so I've probably dislocated a few few joints.
Squat. What is a squat?
It's it's when you fall on your arse, basically.
Oh, right.
Okay, chaps, so we're going to fly towards... Let's do that trivia now while we're waiting for people. Windsor Castle now. You probably all know Windsor Castle. It's the country home. Just outside of London. Queen moved here with her sister, Margaret, during World War II for safety reasons. The Queen used to frequent this location on weekends, and it serves as a country home of sorts, not far from her London base. As with Buckingham Palace, Windsor is Queen Elizabeth's home for as long as she was the ruling monarch. It spans 13 acres and boasts 1,000 rooms. Oh my goodness, making it the largest occupied castle in the world. There you go. Can you imagine 1,000 rooms? Oh goodness.
Yes, Stevie, loud for that.
So you go now?
I said yes. Stevie and I have got 1,000-room houses.
Oh, okay, great. It makes you wonder. I mean, it's the Queen's residence, isn't it? So it'll be the royal family staying there. How would you divide up 1,000 rooms between 10 people or so? Goodness.
100 each.
That's true.
Say Diana used to go around it in with roller skates on, didn't she? I think.
Huh.
Never see anybody.
Must admit, if it was mine, there'd be plenty of space for mates to come over at the weekend.
You'd never see them again.
Yeah, no, you
No.
wouldn't see them together, would you?
I do wonder like how much of that is like staterooms and offices though.
Yeah.
Chaps, can you see the way I'm heading at the moment? Can you see my aircraft? It's actually, I'm on a
Yeah, you're cutting
taxiway.
across the grass.
No, I'm on a taxiway, but I'm heading towards the taxiway. It's straight across from runway 8. That's the right direction. I'm tempted just to keep heading. Can we make that? Yes, I think so. Tempted to take off in that direction rather than taxi. Oh no, let's do it properly. Never mind. We'll do it properly. We'll take off from runway 8 again. Are we all set?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm just going to taxi onto the runway 8 here.
I just take off from where I landed.
Okay. Yeah, and when you're ready, just throttle up and take off.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Hello. Hello.
What's happened?
Oh dear. Oops. Oops. Sorry.
Sorry, that sounds quite normal for one of my live streams.
Oops. Think I better turn around. Huh?
Are you doing the senile old man and going the wrong way down the motorway?
Sort of.
You'll get your keys taken away from you.
Ah.
Okay, chaps, what we're going to do, we're going to fly past Conway Castle, we can fly low over that, but then just fly on past the Gloucester Airport straight towards Windsor Castle. Next airport will be London City, essentially. So we're just going to fly the rest of the route now and enjoy it.
God. Oh God, I'm going
What
down.
cruise height would you like, James?
1500.
Okay.
That sounds painful.
Yeah, I hit the autopilot and I went into a speed.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to try and take off on the water now.
Razor, not to worry, it's okay, my friend. And Douglas sounds like a tree fowl. Yeah, it did.
Oh dear.
On we go. A couple of more tidbits of information. There's some fascinating stuff. So, early life. Elizabeth was born at 40 minutes past 2 a.m. That must have been a happy time. On the 21st of April 1926, like I mentioned before. During the reign of her parental grandfather, George V. George V, right. Her father, Prince Albert, Duke of York, after George VI, it's getting a bit complicated now, was the second son of the king. Her mother, Elizabeth, Duchess of York, I hope you're keeping up there, was the youngest daughter of Scottish aristocrat Claude Bowles-Lyon. Did I pronounce that correctly? Al? Claude?
Lion, I think.
It's Bowes line.
Great. Well, it's close enough.
Bowes line.
The 14th Earl of Strathmore and Kingsholm. At Hughes London home, she was delivered by cesarean section. Oh, there you are. So Queen Elizabeth was delivered by cesarean
26.
section. Sorry, say again?
Must have been quite painful.
That's probably unusual back in those days.
Yeah. Dangerous, I can imagine. 1926.
Yeah.
She was baptised by the Anglican Archbishop of York, Cosmo Gordon Lang, in the private chapel of Buckingham Palace on the 29th of May 1926, and named Elizabeth after her mother, Alexandra after her parental great-grandmother, who died 6 months earlier, and Mary after her parental grandmother. Called a little bit by her close family. I remember the King's... Was it The King's Voice? Fantastic film. I used to call her a little bit. Based on what she... King's Speech, yeah, thank you. Yeah. Based on what she called herself at first. She was cherished by her grandfather, George V, who she effectively called Grandpa England. There you go. I'll stop reading now because I'm making the balls up of that, but hope you got the gist.
You did well. You did well, that was good.
Thank you. So off we go. So yeah, I don't know if you caught the video I put in Discord. Anybody's free watching this to join the Discord in general chat. It's basically by ABC News. Excellent video showing what's going to happen over the 10 days after the death of Queen Elizabeth. Apparently it was all planned out well before she died. So yeah, go and watch that video, and it's quite interesting. You know, her body's going to be on display in Westminster, isn't it? I believe.
I think so.
Could have that wrong.
So,
And yeah, it was all. Go on.
No. Wasn't she going to be on display in St. Paul's?
Could be. Yeah. Yeah, no, we go and watch the videos for the actual facts. But yeah, apparently it's the biggest fanfare for a head of state ever. Essentially, it will be.
very surprised that they're taking her down from Edinburgh to Northolt, which I know is the RAF base, and I know that's where their, you know, the private jets are sort of based. But I'd have thought they would have taken them to London City. It'd be closer to the church.
Right. Yes.
It's security, I think. Al. I think it's just
Yeah,
down to security.
yeah.
Northolt's still a proper just RAF base. There's no in or out,
Yeah.
and there'll be no crowds there either.
Right.
That's where the post office, the armed forces post office base is from. Northolt.
Ah, right. Okay.
Nice synchronized jumbo jet flying there. Wombleway Sims crashed, so he's just going to follow us on YouTube now. Sorry to hear that, Dave. All the best to those on beta. So obviously he had some company on beta. So there we go, chaps. We're heading towards Wales now. That'll be our... well, it's going to be the third country, but a fourth place. And then on to England.
Prince of Wales now, haven't we? We have a new Prince of Wales.
You do.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
A good one as well.
Oh yes.
He'll do well.
Yeah.
William.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he'll make a good king too eventually.
Yep.
Should I mention that? I wasn't going to mention it because I felt kind of disrespectful, but people were talking about Charles abdicating and letting William take over. But somebody did mention it before. You think it's going to be a couple of years? Was that you, Steve?
Yeah, it was. Well, it's always been discussed, especially in the 90s, and that Charles would. And I think it was suggested, and I think it was even mentioned that Charles would abdicate. But now it doesn't seem to be. Well, he's obviously taken the throne, but it was a big topic of discussion that he would abdicate. I think it's when William. When William was in his teens, that he would. I think this is possibly when he was going through the end of the Diana period and into the Camilla. While they weren't married and while it wasn't settled. I think it was a case of if the Queen had gone, while he was in the middle of a divorce and other bits and pieces, that he would have abdicated and handed the throne. But now he's settled, and now she's proven to be what's the name of that, Queen Patronage or
Consort. Queen's
Queen
consort.
Consort. Yeah,
Queen
she's.
consort.
I think the public's opinion of her has changed, and she's earned her stripes, as you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that all seems to have settled down quite a bit.
I think by nature, Charles isn't really he's quite a shy person. And I think all the way through his childhood he was quite shy. And I think probably, going back to 10, 15 years ago, that would have shown through that he probably did not want the limelight. But I think because of Camilla and because of extra, more years of his life, he's actually gonna do fine. I think he's gonna get the right grasp of things and be very good. I think.
I mean, big respect to him. He followed his heart. I mean, he obviously him and Diana divorced, and it was done because of love. I mean, he was in love with someone else, and it goes back to Edward and Wallace Simpson. I mean, I think he may have been prepared to lose the throne through love.
Yeah.
And that I mean, you could take that either way as a Briton. That's either admirable or it's traitorous, one of the two. I think it's admirable, to be honest.
Put yourself in the same situation. You've got an arranged marriage between Diana and Charles. It was arranged, and neither of them were happy. So, yeah, you got to put yourself in that same situation, haven't you? Do you carry on and make yourself completely unhappy, or do you face the truth and both were happy apart, really?
Absolutely, yeah. They spent enough years being unhappy.
It wouldn't have served any purpose. I mean, the public would have known they weren't happy, and if they'd stayed together, it wouldn't have made any difference.
That's something that's changed since obviously the earlier reign. I think it would have been possibly the first time or the first generation where that has happened.
Yeah.
It did rock royalty a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sent them back.
Yeah, there's been a lot of scandals. Shall we go on to that part of the my write-up here? Find it. I mean, obviously you had the press scrutiny and Thatcher premiership. 6 weeks before the wedding of Prince Charles and Lady Diana, 6 shots were fired at Elizabeth from close range. I don't remember that personally.
I don't either.
Horse Guards Parade.
Okay. As she rode down the mall in London on her horse, Bernese. Police later discovered the shots were blanks. The 17-year-old assistant was sentenced to 5 years in prison. My goodness, he was lucky. Yeah, interesting. Something I don't recall.
No.
You remember the guy that broke in and sat on the Queen's bed?
No.
No.
Really? I'm trying to think of his name. You know what?
I can't remember his name.
I'll find that. I watched it. It was in the Google. It was in the what's his name? What was the Netflix documentary? It's just been on a series of 3 series. The Crown. It was in The Crown. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was in there.
That's interesting. Somebody mentioned The Crown. I've not seen The Crown. Yeah. Would you recommend it?
Absolutely, James. Please watch it. Yeah. It's very, very
It is good.
It's good, yeah.
It's a quality piece of television. It's just made. Michael Fagan was his name.
Okay.
So I'll read from Wikipedia.
Yes.
So Michael Fagan was a gentleman who was born in Clerkenwell, London, in 1948. His father was a steel erector and a champion safe breaker. Not the best upbringing. He had 2 young sisters. Obviously, he lived and brought up in Clerkenwell. His first intrusion into the palace took place in early June '82. Fagan says he shimmied up a drain pipe and startled a housemaid who called security. He disappeared before guards arrived, who then disbelieved the maid's report. So he wasn't caught. So the second one, at around 7 a.m. on July 9th of July 1982, Fagan scaled Buckingham Palace's 14-foot high frontal wall, which was topped with revolving spikes and barbed wire. So, yeah, that was brave. And climbed up a drain pipe before wandering into the Queen's bedroom at about 7:15.
My goodness.
Queen woke when he disturbed a curtain. An initial report said Fagan sat on the edge of her bed. However, in 2012 interview, he said that she left the room immediately to seek security. That's open to discussion. So security arrived and he was arrested after a short while, but apparently they had a discussion. But yeah.
Okay. Huh, wow. Something I possibly read something at a time, it just doesn't come to mind. Listen, chaps, we're approaching Wales now, and if you look on your map in the middle of your, well, depending on what aircraft you're flying, your VFR map, you can see some hills there, so just be aware we'll probably have to raise our altitude going into Wales, and then bring it back down again. And just catch up with chat quickly while we just have a moment. Dave is saying Camilla's the best thing to happen to him, Charles. You can't see Charles abdicating now, which is what he's pleased about. I think he realises what a responsibility the title is. As Al said, I think it's more a confidence thing. Yep. And it was during the trooping of the colour when the Queen was fired at. Okay, I do recall that. Now I recall it. Bob, hello! I am flying here. It's great to see you. Nice to be back on again. Been busy with work, not flying today, but watching on YouTube. Thanks very much. It's great to have you, Bob. It'll be great if you can join us one day, please. You keep saying you will. I think you have once or twice in the past, but great if you can join us again. So, our American colleagues, what are your memories of the Queen? What are your fondest memories or impressions?
See, she seemed to me kind of the epitome of decency. Something that the world has lost in many regards over her lifetime. Just a super classy woman.
Yeah. I was speaking to a friend before, and she was like the ethical guidance in the world, wasn't she? She reigned for so long.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
We kind of...
Nobody could compare to her.
No.
In that regard.
The North Star, so to speak.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Presidents came and went, prime ministers came and went, dictators came and went, but she stays steady and ethical through it all.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a worry. We just hope Charles is up to the job, really.
It's going to be interesting because when the Queen had dinner, you know, for her family, say at Balmoral or anywhere, it was a very formal thing at evening. They had to dress for dinner, and they had to be down at a particular time, and you couldn't eat until she, you know, took the spoon up. Then you were allowed to eat, and that was within a family group. So it's going to be interesting if Charles has got that same type of, you know, regimented type of attitude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like she could switch off. She's at home, therefore just switching off, and with Charles and everybody else, she'll just be, "I'll have anything, just come down to dinner anytime." No, she's still in her own time or free time with her family. It was still, you know, very regimented.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a generation thing, isn't it? I mean, Charles is. I'm just trying to Google his age, but he's about 70, isn't he?
He's 3, I think.
70.
74.
Yeah, that's right.
But the generation the Queen's from, it's a regimented generation. It's a different principles, and you know, I've got friends who are in the 80s. My mother's in the 80s, and they have a very different view and way of life. I guess we're going to have to factor that in as well. You know, you stick to your principles, you stick to who you are, and you stick to your guiding form, basically.
But do you think Charles would have people, you know, his family coming, you know, to Balmoral and they've got a dress for dinner, you know, rather than just come down in anything that they wanted to come down in?
No, I think it's quite formal in his nature as well.
Right. Okay.
My impressions of him.
It's comforting.
Yeah.
It's comforting to think that that goes on. Just admit, I think I'd be a little disappointed if everybody, you know, if the Queen rolled down in a onesie and, and had a microwave curry on her lap while watching Love Island or something. Yeah.
We're just about to fly over Conway Castle. Sorry to cut in there, Steve, but just about to fly over it. Lovely scenery on this part of the world too. I don't know if anybody else is getting that. It looks fantastic.
Lovely, beautiful. Conway Castle's nice.
Because Charles has got a sense of humour as well. I mean, you don't often see it because, you know, you're not allowed to sort of record what they say to people. You know, if he's opening a monument, you're not allowed to transmit what he's saying. But you can hear it with your own ears when you're filming him. But he has got a really good sharp sense of humour.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the public don't get, broadcasts aren't allowed to use it, so you don't hear it.
There's Conway Castle. Sorry, Al, I'll come back to you in a second. Yeah, it's looking pretty well modelled from what I can see. And that was a royal residence at one time as well, Conway Castle. Not so much in current times, but beautiful. Yeah, I mean, time will tell, won't it? I think it would be a mistake for William to be king now. It would be too radical a change. It's a completely different generation. I think he's still got a bit of growing room before he takes over that mantle. It's my opinion.
But he's got the perfect partner for it.
Oh yeah,
as well.
yeah.
She is
Absolutely.
she's stunning.
Yeah.
She looks stunning, but she's just got that nature, and she's got that caring Diana nature. She's sensible.
Yeah.
She just seems to have or ticked all the boxes.
Yeah. I wonder if Charles would think that the pressure for handing it over is something he would keep going for quite a long time, like the Queen did, or if he'll hand it over really quite, reasonably quickly.
I hope he goes for 10 years or so, personally. I really do.
I hope.
Gonna raise my
long as it's
altitude, chaps. Sorry, gonna raise the altitude. We'll come back on that in a sec. Just to 2,200, just to be safe there. Sorry, carry on, Alan. I think it was.
Nope, wasn't me.
Oh.
That story I was telling you about the island of Berneray is a great story, and it's absolutely true. Is that the reason we were over filming it was because Charles and Diane were on the Britannia, and they were in the island of Berneray. They'd come off to look around, and they're going down the street, and they shouted out. This guy in the crowd shouted, "Next time you come to stay to Berneray, you're gonna have to stay with me." And Charles said, "Who's that person?" And so that's a guy called Splash McDonald. So this goes about 2-3 years later. Splash McDonald, who had a guest house, gets a phone call from the Lord Lieutenant, said, "I know you got the guest house. Will you be free to take somebody very important on such and such wants to stay with you?" And Splash McDonald says, "Yeah. Who is it? Oh, we can't tell you that." Hence why Charles ended up in Berneray and stayed in Splash McDonald's house when he was there at Island of Berneray. So the guy shouted out, next time you come to my island, you're going to have to stay with me." And sure enough, Charles did.
Wow.
Good for Charles.
Yeah, it's good.
That's fantastic.
By the way, if I'm in the Tower of London tomorrow, you know that you'll have to wipe me all this. if Charles hears all this, and the story's going
We'll keep an eye on you, Al, don't worry. Bob in chat, what can I say about the Queen? One word sums it up for me, class, absolutely. She was a grand lady. I'm sure many here in the States would agree. Thanks very much, Bob. Very nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you may not agree with the royal principles or the establishment, but as a person, absolutely.
Yeah. Another thing we can discuss, chaps, Sim Update 10. Are you excited for it? What are you looking forward to?
Stable
reinstalls. Reinstalls. No reinstalls. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I want a stable sim, and I don't care how many new fancy aircraft I got. I just want a stable sim like I had 2 months ago that doesn't crap. That's all I want.
Yeah, you may have to wait for another update. They've been having problems with Sim Update 10, haven't they? It's not been stable with, is it NVIDIA cards or something of that sort?
You're not making any friends here, James. You know that.
Well, that's why they put it back. I think it was the DLSS that they were having difficulties with. Or DirectX 12.
And the DX12 they were having.
Yeah. Yeah, DX12, yeah.
In fact, supposedly they're waiting on NVIDIA to update DX12 before they bring out the...
Oh yeah, I think they're timing a driver release, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah. Being on the same day, isn't it?
Yeah. That's going to be interesting. I'll get in there quick. I'll also... I'll keep my eye on them.
Lucky and... Sorry, Lucky and whoever's next to me there, fantastic flying. Gotta say, that's really good. And, Holzer. Let's try that again. Hot Zoner. Very nice. Oh, Chunzi, that's you, Steve. It's you behind me as well.
Yeah, can't catch up with you. I've got it absolutely pinned.
Awesome.
What have you got? Have you thrown everyone's seats out or what? I'm not sure.
I'm on Sim Update 10. Did you? You didn't know that? No, 167 knots.
I can't. I'm absolutely pinned, and I can't get any more than 162.
Really?
He strapped the engines of the Dark Star onto the caravan.
Right.
You should never have given up your Velocity 1, Steve. That's what I'm using. It's
It's smaller and lighter, isn't it? This Bravo thing weighs about 40 pounds.
Wow, does it? Wow.
It's really heavy. It's very heavy and it's very large. I must admit, the Bravo is massive. I can't quite understand why it's so big. I can understand why the Alpha is big, because obviously you've got the yoke and the yaw gubbins at the back, but the Bravo throttle hangs over the desk and there's at least 3 times the length behind it.
Martin, that's you. Right. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. So it's bigger than the Velocity 1 then?
Oh, it's huge.
Ah.
The Alpha, I would say, is comparable in size. The Alpha is comparable. The yoke is a little larger, but the main unit is comparable. But the Bravo is huge.
Cool.
Put you a radio panel on top of that. Bravo.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I think that Mark is about to review Loop Deck or something similar, which might pipe on top of that. That looks interesting. Multi-button.
Oh yeah, it does.
USB
It does. Yeah.
device.
Oh yes, that looked good.
That might be interesting.
He's having a bit of
I
I think he's still trying to get it to work, isn't he? Properly.
Oh, is he?
I think so.
Did anybody use the chronometer on the Velocity 1?
No, it's not working properly. As soon as you start it from the icon, it starts the chronometer. So it's meant to work when you take off. It doesn't work for me, at least.
The auto one is working, but the time is wrong.
Oh.
On the beta.
Oh, okay, on the beta, yeah. It could just be a beta thing. I'm not getting it working with current build at the moment.
Ah, okay.
I'm going to have to raise our altitude again, chaps. This hill's ahead of us, so I'm going to go to 3,000. I'll confess I've not done this part of the flight. I thought this would be straightforward. But shouldn't be any difficulties. Just raise ourselves to 3,000. And yeah, someone just asked in YouTube chat there, does anybody have the rolling cache? Does it work for anyone? It works for me, Wrongway Fieldman. Mine wouldn't since the last update. No, I did a video on it since the last update. In fact, it works okay. Does anybody else use the rolling cache?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have it on.
Just make sure you've got enough hard drive space, whatever you're using it on. That's the first thing. If you're low on space, it may not work. Obviously, you can't cache. Doesn't have space. Maybe start at least 10 gigabyte would be my recommendation. That's what I have mine on. It's enough to cache in a couple of areas.
I have it set at 32 and it works fine.
Oh, okay. Just gonna make that. Just about gonna make that.
I'm playing chicken. If you see my name tag below my aircraft, then I've obviously not made it.
Oh
yeah.
Martin, you might have to raise a little bit with my faults there.
Well, I've jumped
okay.
out. I've jumped out and installed the livery, so it looks quite good.
Very good.
Oh, very good.
2400.
I like skimming the ground.
Cacophony of noises around me is fantastic from all these different jets and twin props and single props and goodness knows what. Lovely.
I'll tell you what, I'm desperately waiting for the Tomahawk. I cannot wait for that beast to come out and just fly. They reckon it's going to be one of the best GA aircraft.
I've not even heard about that, Martin, so I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just flight Tomahawk.
Okay.
Who manufactures the plane? The real one?
Oh,
Cessna?
no, I'm not. Don't think it is Cessna.
Not Beechcraft, is it? Bought the Lightning the other day. And I think oh, come back to me now. Twin boom. World War II plane with the twin boom.
Lovely.
When you bring up on the
Oh, yeah.
Peter.
B-51.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's E-51.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
And guys, just to wrap up... Sorry, Steve, go ahead. I'll do it later.
No, well, carry on. No, James, carry on. I'm just watching.
Okay, just to wrap up the information about the palaces. So the headquarters, Buckingham Palace, will be flying past that soonish. It's Crown-owned, located in the city of Westminster, of course. Belongs to the ruling monarch at the time. A tradition that dates back to 1837. Has a total of 775 rooms, including 19 staterooms, 52 royal and guest bedrooms, 188 staff bedrooms. So I guess the other palace, Windsor Castle, most of it will be staff. 92 offices, 78 bathrooms. Visitors can actually tour, of course, a number of the staterooms inside the palace at specific times of the year. Has anybody been round Buckingham Palace? I've never done it.
Yes.
How did you find it?
Imagine that.
What's it like, you know?
Well, I was taken for dinner there with the Queen with about 150 other people. But
Nice.
it was a media sort of. She's saying thanks to the media, so I was one of the very lucky people to get there. And there's loads of rooms that you can walk along the corridors and go from room to room, but they're huge. They're like ballrooms, each one, and it was very easy going. You know, it was very beautiful, very gold, lots of red drapes. Very warm, actually, I would say, as the decor. You feel quite warm in it. But, yeah, it's quite good.
Lovely.
Not this winter. We'll all be cold this winter.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
No, my PC's going to keep me warm.
Oh yeah.
I'm moving it. I'm moving it to under my desk.
Yeah.
It's a
Literally,
funny
I'm
thing.
going to be playing this on this. This is this game is double-edged, you know. It's entertainment, but it's also life-saving heat.
And cheap as well. Cheap heat. It's a funny thing, isn't it? I find this particularly in the UK. It's bloody boiling warm in it. You can't have your PC on because it's too hot. Next week, it's you have to sit there warming your hands on your PC. It's very strange.
Yeah, we've got two identical, and they wear out a reasonable amount of heat, which I'm now glad. Because if it's going to be on, which it will be, then lovely. It might as well have a second use.
It's good. This year I'm just about to move into an apartment, a flat, and it's community heating, so it means that you don't pay for gas, basically. So I'm hoping that means I can have the gas on full whack without worrying about it. Perfect timing. Got lucky, hopefully, in that respect.
Back in the southeast, James, or in London?
Yeah, on the south coast, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright guys, it's been a pleasure.
Is that Baker Fly?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is Stem Pilot.
Okay, thanks for joining us. Been a pleasure to have you.
Yes sir, I'll see you next time guys.
See you next time. Take care.
See you then.
Bye.
Not long to go now, chaps. Reckon I said that half an hour ago, but you can take a look at your own map and you can see that we're heading now towards the south of England, somewhat. Bear with me. Or bear with the flight. It won't be long now. It's a one-off, isn't it? One-off occasion.
That's great.
Yeah.
James, it's lovely. Wonderful. It surprisingly take a little time to get from tip to toe.
Yeah. Yeah, when you think about what we've
Country
flown
we
there.
live in.
Yeah. When you think about what we've flown all the way through Scotland effectively almost. You know, Northern Ireland and back over to Wales. We're passing pretty much Wales now. It's pretty incredible. Thanks, Ren. Thanks very much. Much appreciated. Wrong way, Feldman. I wouldn't reinstall just yet. Probably best waiting for the next update, which should be hopefully this week coming. I would hold on to that. I'll wait for that.
James, do you think the frame rate on the new update will be better than the old?
I'm hoping. I hope so. I've got a DLSS. I've got a 3060 laptop, so I can enable DLSS if it's working, and that should improve frame rates effectively. I just hope. Steve, what are your thoughts on that? Because you're a VR flyer, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm happy with the current situation of SC9. If as long as I've got a nice stable, I'm probably not going to touch DLSS unless they've cleared up this focus issue. The text is hardly really understanding GP2 at the moment, so I can't take any loss of quality. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time. You just end up trying to focus the time on instrument to refocus your glasses. So no, I won't use DLSS if it isn't as clear as TAA. It's just not worth it for me. I'd rather come down a little bit with took it, and just to get 10 frames a second. It runs at 35 to 40 VR, and that's above it on this one, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I'd like, if it's integrated a bit better, I'd like to get an extra 5 or 6 frames a second and have it stable, sort out the menus. I'm happy, but I just I'd like stability and menus to be correct.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll come back to that in just a second, Steve, because we just passed it, and Douglas Hammer is saying that the little town below, near the lake, is my family's ancestral homeland.
Oh, wow.
Let's see if I can
Nice
spot
place in
that.
the world to live.
I think we've probably flown over that by now, because I'm ahead of the stream, but no, good to hear. Yeah, I mean, I've never had a problem with frames. I don't chase frames generally, as long as it's over 30 and stable. I'm okay with it.
2D's fine. Plenty 2D.
Yeah.
I've only got a 3070 and an i7 107, so it's sort of a mid to slightly upper range PC, and I'm getting in excess of 55 frames in 2D with everything turned up pretty high. VR, obviously you come down a little bit, so I'm averaging 30 to 40 depending on where you are.
Yeah.
And everything is sort of midish. You compromise, you know. It's just it'll do. Many people, I've got no intention of spending another 1,500 quid on a new card, especially when you're going to have to buy a new power supply, and then you're looking at nearly pumping out nearly a kilowatt to run a PC. That's just
Yeah, if it works, why mess with it?
yeah. It looks fantastic at the moment. Just stability, and this is running smooth. I haven't had a single stutter or anything for the whole evening, and we've been flying for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And it's not even stuttered once. Multiplayer with you guys around, ultra clouds, everything high, and then it hasn't moved an inch. So I'm happy with its current performance. If we get a bit better with SU10, great.
Yeah. I'm running at 3080, 10900K. I'm getting steady. It's not moving off a 61 fixed on flat screen. Two times 2K monitors.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. It's just stationary on 61.
I think an issue. Sorry, Joe. An issue I'd like them to sort is using a second screen, but having dropping out your map into the second screen.
Yeah, you lose.
At the moment, that causes huge frame drops.
Yeah, you lose about
incredible.
10.
Kneeboard, if you put kneeboard on there, or even the VFR map, it's just like halves your frame rate, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's something wrong there. That shouldn't happen.
But isn't the new update going to support more screens?
Apparently, yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
But will you have the choice? Will it be an extension of the view,
Right.
or will we be able to just use a second screen and it not?
This sort of thing really hits me because, like I said before, I'm visually impaired, so I sit really close to my screen. But you know, if I could have things on the opposite on the other screen to look over to quickly, that would be fantastic. Just the frame rate loss is just terrible.
It is, and I thought it was just initially VFR map that does it, but I've tried everything. If I put kneeboard up there, it drops out badly.
Put VFR map on now. So just put a VFR map. So my frames still 60, 61, and I'm going to move them across now on the other screen. Now I've shot down to 30.
Oh my god!
Wow.
It's fixed because it's gone to the nearest fixed, I think. Yeah.
How can that lose 50% of your frame rate? It's just silly.
Gone down to 30 because I'm using it fixed frame rate.
Fixed. Yeah.
So it's gone from 61, obviously dropped down to maybe something like, I don't know, 50, and it's homing in on itself. So it's gone to 30, about 31.
Yeah.
It's rubbish.
Wow. I was going to say, Martin, you'd have to post it in our Discord. Post a picture of your setup. It's pretty amazing.
Oh, you like it?
Yeah.
I've got like my screens are all on floating stands, and I bought the little LED mouse mats and put them on top of the floating stands, so everything looks like it's floating. It looks quite smart. But it doesn't help my flying capabilities.
At least it can look nice, Martin. That's the whole point, isn't it?
Well, you know, I mean, you're talking about expense. You know, I bought my PC. I followed Steve, the VR flight sim guy, and I bought my PC from Stormforce, the same place as him. I'm not technically minded, so you know, I wanted a PC that I knew would work and do all the job. You know, I had to unfortunately give up my license a few years ago, so I was deeply into motorbikes and sold my bike, my beloved bike, and splashed out on the best PC I could get, you know. But I guess the next one will be a 400.
What did you ride, Martin?
Eh?
What did you ride? What was your bike?
I had many bikes. I've never had a car license, so I've had many bikes. But one of my last bikes was the Triumph Rocket 3.
Oh my God! You did the things like halves, do you?
No. I've had many big bikes.
Wow.
Yeah. ZX4. What was the other one? The ZX1200R.
ZX14. Yeah, blimey.
Yeah.
Oh, you like your big comfortable tourers and
Yeah. The MT.
Don't say MT10.
Yeah. MT.
Oh, you are a hooligan.
Yeah. 1700 cc engine V-twin. Yeah. Yeah.
You're a dark horse, aren't you?
Yeah, well, you know, things happen in your life, and I just had to. I do what I can to. You know, I'm retired early from work because of I don't want no sadness from anybody, but I got a tumour on both optical nerves, and so you know, I do what I can. I'm retired now, and 50. What am I now? About 58. I spend all my other time helping Link Stone and Rescue, and this has been a little outlet for me, and I love it.
Martin, on that note,
yeah.
On that note, you've appeared in Flight Simulator, haven't you? You don't mind me saying?
Yeah. The guys know I'm in Burning Blue Designs. I'm in several of their airports. I can't remember all of them now, to be honest.
Are you in Martha's Vineyard? Airport in the States?
Yeah, they put me there as well. I think I'm in the car park there. But,
White Waltham as well. I think you're in.
I'm in. You'll see me serving in one of the
Andrewsfield.
That's it.
Yeah, I've seen you there. Yeah, you wouldn't serve me though. You just ignored me.
That's it.
I waited ages for a beer and you just ignored me. I just think it was really rude.
No, that was really nice, you know. I sort of reached out to Adam from Burning Blue Designs in my early days, and he helped me when I was looking for a PC, because you guys, you're all really helpful. We're all helping each other, and because I guess he knows that I do my rescue bit, he featured me in a few of his designs. So I'm really pleased about that.
He didn't introduce you to Jonesy's girlfriend, did he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I say. Yeah, she's cracking.
Right, let's not go there. Anyway, chaps. So do be careful. We do have royalty. We do have royalty in our midst with Martin there.
Yes.
It'll be off with your head before you know it.
Yes.
My apologies.
Yeah, I didn't bring that up.
He's mine. Keep your hands off.
But yeah, you're all welcome to a free pint next time you come in.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, good luck getting served.
Yes.
Worst barman in the world.
Yeah.
So 20 nautical miles out from Gloucester Airport now, and we'll just fly straight on unless you want to land there. I'll leave that up to you chaps. You can do a touch and go if you fancy it. Or do you fancy just flying straight on now? It's been a while, hasn't it?
I think we'll fly straight on.
Yeah,
Straight
yeah,
on,
come on.
yeah.
I agree.
Oh, there's a little motorcycle off-road, little motocross track by the left of us. I'm just passing it now. Be behind you, James.
Okay.
Little motocross track.
I don't see it, I don't think, Steve.
It's just behind you here. Just past it. I think. Only small.
Lovely, it's looking okay. So we're apparently going to get a couple of bank holidays coming up as well. Extra bank holidays.
Okay, I know we've got one next Monday. I'm on annual leave, so I'm going to miss the day anyway. At least I'm on.
Yeah, the Queen's funeral was on my wedding anniversary.
Oh wow!
So I think it's on the 19th. Is it?
My brother's birthday too.
Yeah.
So that's a Monday, isn't
Bank
it?
holiday. Yeah, it is. What's the second bank holiday?
I don't know. I just heard there's going to be a couple of them coming up. It may be a future one, perhaps, to commemorate.
Okay.
But even if you got annual leave, Steve, you'll get it in lieu of that, or you should do.
Yeah, you would think. You would think so.
Yeah.
It's one of those karate things that sort of disappears.
Yeah. I
Depending
tend to
on
work
how-
a lot of bank holidays because I do health and safety for care homes, so
Oh, okay.
I have to go in. Because they're open as usual. You see, on Mondays, typically a day I have to go in and do a few checklists and goodness knows what.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, because
Yeah.
care homes are in a lot of stress at the moment.
Yeah.
They need people like you to go and keep things all running tickety-boo.
Yeah, it's a lot of red tape. I won't get into it, but it's good.
No.
They were badly run at one time, and there was a lot of abuse going on. Goodness knows what. So it's better to have all this red tape than not, really.
Absolutely brilliant.
So coming up, just catch up on the chat there. That's going quite so. Rossin, you're getting 37 frames, 1440p. TAA on the 210. Don't know the 210. On 210. Maybe that's 20 something card. Not one I'm familiar with. There, but 37 frames, as long as it's over 30, it's generally good for the sim. As long as it's steady and stable, that's good enough. Do we have any Xbox flyers with us, flying along with us? Yeah, are you using the Velocity 1?
I am.
Yeah, because that's coming in, obviously, in the next update. Your favourite subject, Steve. But the SIP update for the Velocity 1 there, so on Xbox. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be covering that, of course. Hoping it's as good as the PC variant.
Yeah, no, I've been part of the beta and I've got back for my year and like obviously
Sorry, I didn't catch what you're saying there. You might have to turn up your mic volume a bit.
I'm just saying about the SIP update on the beta, just how much better it is for like your flash status and things like that, fuel low.
Oh, brilliant. So, yeah, it's pretty much what we have on the PC then. I like it. It's a bit of eye candy. It depends on your preference, of course, but I find it quite useful, and it adds another dimension to the sim. I find.
Question: how do you get those notifications to update that firmware from on an Xbox?
Just by looking online.
Really? Okay, so if you were
Yeah.
purely Xbox and you didn't have a PC, you wouldn't know, or you couldn't do
No.
it. You have to put out your
Unless
PC
I-
to update it.
Oh no, sorry. To update it itself as an app on the Xbox, you can download.
Oh, okay.
It was for the Velocity one and for
Oh, okay.
the items that Tail have.
I might do that then.
Yeah,
still use it.
notification wise, it's only if you see it online on YouTube or things like that. Otherwise, I would never know.
Huh,
Okay.
wow. How does that work? I'm kind of intrigued by that. So you just start the app and it starts the firmware for the Velocity one? It just automatically works?
No, you've got to go to the app, click on obviously the product you've got, put the Velocity one into update status, and then it'll automatically update from there.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
Your livery has seemed to disappear, James.
No, I can still see it. It comes and goes, Alan. If you get closer, it'll probably reappear again.
Well, I'm right over the top of you.
I can see you,
Down,
yeah.
and I was going to get a image of that.
Yeah, if you get a little bit closer, you should be able to see it. Testing your piloting skills there, Alan.
Well, that's probably not what happened.
Not far to go now, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. I know it's a long old journey, but like I said, it's well worth it. Well worth it to give the tributes to the Queen, of course. What else can we say there? Anything else I can find of interest? Just a second. So there you go. In the 1950s, as a young woman at the start of her reign, let me just get internal, it's a bit noisy. Start of her reign, Elizabeth was depicted as a glamorous fairy tale queen. After the trauma of Second World War, it was a time of hope, a period of progress and achievement, heralding a new Elizabethan age. There you go. Lord Altringham's what would that word be? Accusation, I think it is, in 1957, that speeches sounded like those of a piggish schoolgirl were an extremely rare criticism. In the late 60s, an attempt to portray a more modern image of the monarchy were made in the television documentary Royal Family. Al, this might be something that you may know. And by televising Prince Charles' investiture as Prince of Wales. No. A couple of programs that I'm not aware of there.
I think they are online. I think you can, or at least I have seen that within the last year, last 6 to 8 months. I've watched that documentary.
Was that Prince Charles' investiture as Prince of Wales?
Yeah, I think it was. I can't remember who it was. It was Carnarvon or something. I'm not sure. It was in Cardiff, I think. Yeah, very fresh-faced, young prince, looking rosy-cheeked and scared out of his wits.
Right.
As you would imagine.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you imagine? Yeah, and there was a time.
Queen Elizabeth.
Go on.
Do you think Queen Elizabeth back in those days could have married a commoner?
No, they'd never have been allowed to.
Yeah.
It would never have happened. I mean, there's
Now,
always arguments. I mean, there's a Diana scandal. She was divorced and was thinking of marrying a Muslim. So the scandals are saying that it wasn't allowed, or so that's conspiracy theories. Why would she be allowed to marry some Dodi Fayad's son, isn't it? So those that do the conspiracy theories say the people behind the monarchy that control it would not allow that. But I mean, it's obviously it was an accident. But Yeah, but she would have married outside of her religion. And,
Yeah.
there are those people that did not approve,
No.
and would not approve, and definitely 50 years ago, absolutely not, never happened.
Yeah. But Diana obviously is considered a commoner. Her pedigree isn't enough to get her into that.
She was the first,
Non-commoner
though, wasn't
list.
she? She was the mold breaker, really.
She was Lady Diana, though. She did have pedigree in the family, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, her father was an earl.
Hmm.
I think that'd be pretty close to non-common.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's Harry. Harry and Meghan now have broken the mould. I mean, Kate, I suppose. Kate had no royal ties. But, yeah, they married for love rather than of arranged marriages.
Okay, chaps, bear with us and bear with us at home. We are coming towards that last leg now at long last. It's been a long old flight, easily the longest live stream we've done so far. But it's a special occasion, of course. As you can see, we're coming towards Windsor Castle there. Well, we've got another 50 nautical miles, but in the Grand Caravan that will take no time at all. Just on that subject we were talking about, isn't that why the Elizabeth's father became king? Because his brother abdicated to marry.
Yeah,
I'm right there.
absolutely,
Can
yeah.
marry.
Yeah, back then. Yeah, I think the Duke of Windsor had no choice.
Yeah.
If he was going, he'd have to leave. I mean, if he was going to marry Simpson.
Mm.
It was scandalous, wasn't it, for them, for those
Oh,
months?
yeah,
She was,
yeah,
A, she
yeah.
was a divorcee, and B, she was American. So
Right.
the stuff upper class were horrified, and I'm glad most of that's gone. Well, obviously a lot of that's gone now.
Yeah.
But that's something of the royal family that is not favourable, and I'm glad it's starting to go.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think Charles will aid that. I think he's is quite for, I believe, unification.
Yep.
Yeah. Equality, rather.
Hopefully, we are moving into a new era.
Yeah, I mean, and it's been a long time coming, hasn't it? I mean, I work with people of different colours and races, and I don't even think twice about it. It's just the way things are. It's been that way for a long time in England. It's ridiculous, and around the world, in fact. So I don't want to get too deeply into that, but it's been a long time coming, really.
Yeah, I don't think there should be any issue if we want the monarchy to continue.
I'm sure that will be on the agenda. Chaps abroad, by the way, how are your prices generally? I mean, in the UK at the moment, we're going to be scalped this year. Electricity, gas prices, cost of living is going way up. What's it like over there?
Not quite as bad. I think we hit 9% year over year a month or two ago. But a lot of that was gasoline and things that have since come down. So we're probably sitting at 7-8% now. And so it's nothing like the UK. We don't have, the energy problems and some of the other issues I think that the UK does.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it?
You provide all of your own, don't you?
It
You
is.
provide all of your own. You don't import any electricity or gas, do you?
No.
Alaskan pipelines, but that's considered as part of the United States.
Yeah. No, there's gas lines, pipelines all over the U.S. And we're in Florida, and our gas comes from Texas. So it's all, and gas, natural gas is the prime heating fuel, and actually, I think might be the prime fuel for generating electricity in the U.S. And that's what we have most of is natural gas, more than oil or even coal.
It's
So
exactly
we-
where our problems lie.
Yeah, so we really shouldn't face anywhere near the problems. Russia can't impact our prices like they're impacting yours.
Yeah, it's a big mistake we made a long time ago. We should have produced more local energy. They're talking about maybe fracking again in England, you know, opening sort of alternative sources of energy. That's been a long time coming.
But I believe Charles is really against that, isn't he?
He is, yes. He's very much
that
an
might be a little bit
environmentalist.
of conflict there, but the government knew all this ages ago, and
Yeah.
now all of a sudden they want to erect loads of wind farms and things like that. And they could have done that 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and now they want to do it within the next 2 years. It's madness. All of
Yeah,
it.
it's a wake-up call. Maybe in the long term, it's a good thing.
It's madness.
Yeah, we should never have relied on reserves from Russia in the first place, really. There you go.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
We can't do anything about it.
And there you go, that's a blast from the past, guys. I remember coal heating. We had coal when I was younger.
Yeah.
Coal fires.
We're dependent.
Yeah.
So we're dependent on that this year. We've got our log burner and we're going to damn well use it.
Nice. Is it like a stove you've got then?
Yeah, a little log burner.
Oh, lovely.
And,
Lovely.
We're going to see a huge increase in people foraging for wood, I think.
Yeah,
I think there's going to be
pallets.
a massive increase.
Eek.
I really do think people are going to be, chopping down trees illegally and I mean, obviously foraging for dead wood and burning the logs. But I think it's going to increase massively this year. Unfortunately, that will lead to a lot of fires.
but
accidents.
wood is meant to be seasoned as well before you burn
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah, it's just
That's
And
right.
people are going to be sticking in pallets and oil pallets and
Yeah.
all sorts of things, and then everyone's going to have to stop burning fossil fuels. It just makes me mad.
Well, the Scottish National Party are wanting to stop wood burners anyway.
Yeah.
Really?
Madness.
Wow.
And they also want to stop oil as well. So that's another thing. But I don't mean to get political, but it's daft.
I think ours chucks out about 7 kilowatts, so that's quite a bit for the whole house. And I guess we probably put about 5, maybe 6 small logs in, from a 3 till about 9 o'clock in the evening, and a couple of coals to keep it going as well. But that's going to be the godsend for this year.
It's 100% efficient, isn't it?
Well, it's going to be a godsend for us this year.
Very good.
Go and read Douglas Hammer comments on the YouTube chat there. I'm all about sustainable energy, but you cannot get to it without a crash economy. I completely agree with that. You need the crash to get to that point, so I think, we seem to have come to that point. Yeah, you need to crash before you build back up, I guess. Before you realise, as you say, the wake-up call.
Yeah, you never realise you're on the edge of a precipice until you're on the edge of the precipice.
Yeah.
Looking down. That's how humans have been for hundreds of years.
Well, if they could stop the fighting, it might change things up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That's all
When
very.
is that going to happen?
It's all very political as well, though, isn't it? So,
Oh, yeah.
Let's avoid that one.
Yeah. It's easy to get sidetracked.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's always been the way. I think we've always had that. I mean, like I said, I'm qualified in accounts as well. It's another side thing I do. But you have to have crashes and then climbs, inflation and deflation and goodness knows what. It's always happened throughout the centuries. Just never to this possible extent that we're coming to now. So interesting times ahead. It's a very cheerful end to the flight, isn't it? Sorry. But we find ways of surviving. We always have.
What I say, it is what it is, and there's nothing we can do about it.
No.
It's very sad.
Yeah. I gotta remember when I'm from a we had a very poor background growing up, we had this sort of oxo cubes for lunch, oxo cube soup for lunch, and bread at one point. And those were hard times back in the, 60s, 70s. They were difficult times, but we got through them.
Oh, yeah, it's a familiar story. I remember being at school and I thought the height of luxury was my friend who was reasonably well off, had Cadbury's mini rolls. And occasionally he'd let me have it, but oh, Cadbury's mini rolls. Wow. He must be really well off. I'd have a limp floppy ham sandwich or a bag of 5 pence crisps.
Or spam at the time, wasn't it? Very popular.
This is what it's doing with dog rescue. It's just hitting dog rescue because people cannot afford to feed their animals.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's a big smash. I mean, I'll give you an example. Our 2 Dobermans, ones that we've had them insured for the last 5 years, and over the last 2 occasions, it's gone from like £170 to £270 a month.
Oh,
A month. And we just can't afford to do it anymore. And I cried when I had to say to bought by many, now my dogs aren't insured. How am I going to look after them?
Yeah.
Very, very sad.
Jeez.
And we deal with that on a daily basis now. Very, very sad.
Just catch up on chat there. F18 back on duty. Tony Dark Zero, you gutted you missed this flight. Next time, join us, please. Yeah.
We need some light. We need a light zero on, I think.
We do.
I was about to start on the prices of butter.
No, don't.
£5 for a pack of Lurpak.
Look at this lovely scenery.
Yeah. Oh, we're just coming through near to White Walton. We can pop down and pop in the bar, and maybe you can pour us a pint.
yeah, definitely.
Is
that good, wouldn't it? You could all.
Yeah.
Are you serious there, Steve? £5, really? Oh,
yeah. How much? 1 second. No. Did you say Lurpak? £5 for a tub of Lurpak?
Ah,
yep. Literally a couple of days ago. Has done £5 for a tub of Lurpak.
Wow.
Big ton.
Absolutely criminal.
That's made us all go quiet.
Yeah.
yeah,
Back to the scenery.
yeah.
It's interesting. I think it's Tom from Florida. I watch a guy called Jimmy's World on YouTube, which is really good. He's quite funny. And I ordered a Grandpa T-shirt, which was you could buy locally. Well, you could buy by paying UK because he was shipping to the UK. And then I went to pay for it, and the cost of shipping was about 5 times the cost of the T-shirt.
Wow.
Yeah,
And yet the real joke of it, and the real sad thing is, I mean, we're supposed to be good buddies of America and stuff for trade and stuff, but yet you can get stuff free from China. China just seems to scoot things in through customs. You don't pay anything for customs normally. Yeah, America always seems to get hit.
Yeah, I know.
We should be, band of brothers between UK and America, I would have said.
Even Europe out.
Well, that's not Europe, it's boosted,
Yeah. Well, I think the problem is we don't have the old formal agreement we used to have before the EU. So when Brexit came along, we need to redo the whole trade situation between the US and the UK. And I think they're starting on it, but it sounds like it just defaults back to the World Trade Organization rules or something like that. Which,
Yeah, I think you're right.
So hopefully we'll get some kind of an agreement in a not too distant future.
Yeah.
Right, chaps, back to the sim. We're coming up now to our penultimate castle here. Windsor Castle. It's 11 nautical miles out. So get prepared for this. This is our sort of grand ending to the flight coming up eventually. I don't know if anybody else is getting that beautiful sunset behind you. It's lovely. Obviously, we're probably all on different times in the sim, but it does look fantastic.
What time are you on? What time are you on, James?
Oh, let me try and see there. So in the sim, it's 1918, 1818 UTC.
18.
I'll set that up.
Can I just quickly go back to the butter thing, just to make an amendment, just for clarity. That was for Lurpak spreadable. And I've got written, this is, I'm quoting here from a obviously a memo from my partner just breaking news just past me. It's Lurpak spreadable. We're posh. Block butter is cheaper.
There you are.
Yeah. So it's just for clarity, just in case Lurpak are listening and they want to sue us.
I feel rather depressed now.
Yeah, Irish butter's better anyway.
So I've always been good with that type of thing. I do like brown seeded bread, but I'll buy, anything that's around a pound. Sausages, Cumberland sausages, £2.15 or whatever they are. They've gone up 15p. Butter, I'll buy the cheapest one, £1 to £1.50 if I can get it, as long as it's healthy-ish.
That's a typical accountant, that is.
Where's that? Waitrose Ocado is £7.25.
Oh. Waitrose? Yeah. My goodness, Steve.
Yeah. That's the butter news is over for the day.
For those of you who may be confused, Waitrose is one of the top sort of posh supermarkets within the UK, whereas someone like me was shop at Tesco's quite happily.
By the way, about 10 minutes ago I had to respawn because I was following you guys, I thought. But it was actually another group which were better flyers, but they were headed in the wrong direction. I haven't got the map, you see, so I had to respawn in you.
Oh, welcome back, Al.
Yeah, I'm admitting that I'm in a real I was headed for somewhere else, Newcastle, I think.
Here we go, chaps. Just about to fly over Windsor Castle. Let's hope the lights are on. Coming up just ahead of us there. I better turn off these points of interest. Just bear with me. I'm just going to disappear, or maybe not. Assistant options. Points of interest. There's going to be a lot of them over London, so I don't want them on.
I think that's a London rowing centre right below us. It's where they train for the Olympics. The Olympic team train below us where they do the rowing.
That's straight with the water.
Oh, yeah.
Slough. Aqua Central Water Centre, I think, something great.
Oh, is that what it is?
Something like that, yeah. There's a rafting where they do the kayaking and canoeing,
Right.
very close by. I think it's just on the right nearby. Yeah, near the roundabout, actually, just off the motorway. That's the canoeing centre.
There you go, chaps. Windsor Castle. So we're just doing a respectful fly past, fly over, fly by, fly over. In fact. Largest castle in the world, apparently. Wow. Big old castle.
Can you do a somersault in this aircraft?
You can try. Let us know. And Heathrow just ahead of us, nicely lit up there. Beautiful. Have you got it set to the same time, chaps? It looks incredible.
Yeah.
Are you all on live time?
Yep.
Beautiful. That's the inner scene London Heathrow, by the way, so it might look slightly different, but pretty spectacular. Martin, whenever, because you told me about Orbix North release, I didn't know, so if you hear about Orbix South, please let me know ASAP.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
If you hear about Orbix South releasing, Orbix, because you told me about North, I read it, well, you told me about it,
Yeah,
it's beautiful, Bob, yeah. Just watching this on YouTube, Hop to Fly review, please do, Mr. S, we'd love to have you. will be my first group flight. Yeah, many people started on either my streams or Mark's. Both are newbie friendly. Mark's got one next week, I believe, next Sunday. So, well recommend Sim Hanger, basically. Both
That's
newbie
Warbirds.
friendly. Oh, is it? Oh, maybe not.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
skip
think
that
it's
one.
Warbirds.
Unless you're comfortable in Warbirds. Oh, inner scene Heathrow looks incredible. Lit up. My goodness me. Did any of you buy the inner scene Heathrow?
I've got that.
Looks
That's
incredible,
one
doesn't
I
it?
won.
Quite
I
old.
won that
I
one.
mean, it must be 6 months old.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's the one
Lovely.
then, yeah. It's good. Easy.
No frame rate hit on that one
No.
at all, really.
No, and it does look second to none, doesn't it? It does look fantastic.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, I'm showing a pink lighting smack bang in the middle of the main terminal, right in the centre. Are you guys getting that?
Yep.
One of the areas is lit up pink. Okay, yeah, in that case it'll be the same scene, yeah.
It's like RGB lighting, I think. That'll be.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's still pink. It's where the nightclub is, isn't it?
I mean, we're in London now, and I was talking about my frame rates. And I'm just flying over this airport now, and I'm getting around about 40, 45.
Nice. Okay.
But I really haven't got anything else on apart from, you know, north, central orbits, and the airports that I want to see.
You're most welcome, Mr. S. Not a problem.
I think we're probably going to be pretty much lined up for ETLC.
We should be, yeah.
Pretty close.
Where's the river?
And of course, look out for Buckingham Palace, chaps. That'll be our last palace we'll be passing. See if we can spot it. Yeah, I'm not convinced about the London lighting. It could be a little bit better. I hope that's improved in the future. Not bad. It's just not very convincing to me.
I did see a scenery that kind of enhances London at night. I don't know how good it is, but I have seen it on the marketplace.
Oh, okay. I shall look out for that one.
I've always thought one of the failings of the sim is, MFS sim, is that they never get the colour temperatures between countries right. You'd expect if you were in Australia, it'd be orangey, or Florida it would be warmer than if you're up, say, Scotland, which could be rainier and darker or bluer. They don't seem to mess about with colour temperatures, which I think they could do to enhance it even more. And that would be quite simple. I don't think that's just a lot. It's not a lot to do a colour temperature change.
Yeah, I've seen criticism that the colors are too saturated
Yes.
in Microsoft Flight Simulator.
But you can't tell the difference between countries. You'd expect if you're in Florida it'd be really nice and orangey and, you know, unless it's thunderstorms, but you'd expect it to be like that, and a different country would be slightly different. Very slightly different.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Very much down to personal taste again, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think monitors can play a big part in that, or TVs, the way your TV or monitor displays it. The laptop looks fantastic.
Yeah, I must get colours. I must get colours sometime.
You should. You need to try it out. It's great.
I run this with HDR off. I think I much prefer running non-HDR on this.
Really?
on this,
I prefer the HDR, yeah.
I prefer the contrast, I think.
Everybody spotted Buckingham Palace yet? It's just a mass of lights, isn't it?
And that's the serpentine to our left, isn't it?
To our left. Let's just see.
Regent's Park.
Yeah,
Be to our left, we've just passed it in that case.
Okay.
Coming over the Thames.
Well, there you go, chaps. We did a flyby.
There it is. It's right
Yeah,
below
there it
me
is.
now.
Oh yeah.
Right below.
Yeah. Very nice.
There we go.
What's the limit for the height to fly over London?
I'm at
Like
1200 at the
Oh,
moment.
is it? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Must be about 2,000, is it, or is it more than that?
Oh, I see the actual. Goodness, yeah. No, I imagine it's much higher than that because they'd be afraid of, you know, terrorist attacks and goodness knows what.
Yeah.
My radio control club today, there was a NOTAM to pilots. Basically, you shouldn't be flying. Anything under 600 feet had to land because of the coffin, you know, the hearse going by and police and things. So therefore, and it's away in you know, fields and things, away in the distance. But there was a NOTAM to say no fly zone, basically.
Ah, wow.
Come on, I'm dying for a toast and coffee.
Me too. I've not eaten a thing.
Lurpak, you gotta have Lurpak with it though.
Yeah.
Don't worry, chaps. We'll still
With
be
some
arriving.
Lurpak. With a
We'll
little
still
bit of
be
Lurpak.
arriving. Almost arriving at Huddersfield International Airport.
Yes.
It is.
That's a catchy name, Steve.
You know what? If I get there, if I get the PM, I'll do that for you. HIA.
London City is nicely lit up. Many different. Mind you, I've got the London City add-on pack. I don't know if that's making a difference. Nicely lit up, multicoloured runway there. It looks like.
Are we going straight in? Or
Yeah,
to
straight
the
in. Yeah, yeah. Landing the wrong way. London City. It's never the active runway. Runway 9. I really enjoyed seeing this in real life. You probably saw the video I did, and it's fine. I didn't do it justice. Really great day out if you ever want to see a pretty unique looking airport.
Did you ever do your flight you were getting for your birthday?
I've got to do that.
Did you ever-
I've got to do it. It's running out in November, so I'm hoping to do it in October.
Ah, nice.
And I shall record that as well. Record me crashing into one building or another. There we go. Down we come. I'm going to try and capture a few. No, that's... There we go. And just come off the runway. Try and capture a couple of people. That will do. Who have we got? Oh. Very nice. Whoever landed right next to me there.
That's me.
Right, well done. Baker Fly coming in. Oh, and you've got this. Lovely. I hope you've all taken some good screenshots. I've got a bit of an announcement. Do join the Discord because I'll be doing something with screenshots in the future. Let me just say that. A regular thing. Glass, very nice. Glass prom, is that? Very nice. Could be people that are just landing here and who knows. Very nice anyway. Alan, I can see you coming in. Tip bird. Don't live up to your name, please, Alan. What a beautiful way to finish. Are you down, Steve?
Yeah, I'm down in the Thames.
Oh, are you?
No.
Yeah, I just come off what I thought was a taxiway and straight over the wall into the Thames.
Excellent way to finish. Lucky, you're looking good. Don't ask me why. Yep, a very familiar name. In you come, my friend. And Waity, you've got some fantastic name. Waity, Yord. Al, you're looking good. Alan, lovely. Bit bouncy, go on. There we go. You're not going to tip it.
I got to bounce at least once.
You do. Hot Zona, you flying along with us. Lovely, a little bit bouncy there as well, but you got it. Are you down? You're not down. Get down, my friend. Oh, you are down. You can just come off the runway there. Yep. And Lucky, you flying along with us. Very nice, my friend. You're bouncing as well, are you going? Yep. Oh, no, you're doing a flyover. Are you down, Lucky? Not so lucky that time, I'm afraid. Desert Soldier 22. A lot of names I don't recognise, but great to have you fly along. Nice landing there, it looks like. And Al, we're waiting for you. You're going to be our... Rossen, very nice. You're going to be our grand ending here.
Don't wait for me.
Hey, we always do. You know better than that.
Very nice there, Rossen. Waitsy's coming back round again. Premier what? Premier Ant. Very nice. And there's a couple of other people there. If you're flying along with us, where you can watch the stream back and see yourself landing there. Very nice. That's the biggest test, you know, being a YouTuber, doing these live stream flights, is trying to decipher a lot of these names. Wait to call. Yep. There we go. We're going to wait for you. You're very close to landing now, and then we'll call that a day, because my stomach's not going to last otherwise. Sneaky Bicycle, I recognise that name as well. Very nice, my friend. Go on, Al. Give us the grand ending. Looking very nice. Very nice. Look at that for a landing. Lovely, Al. Watch that one back. Absolutely beautiful. Listen, my friends, it's been lovely. It's been lovely reminiscing about Queen Elizabeth II with you. Oh, someone's coming in over ahead of us there. Lovely reminiscing, lovely chatting. It's been the longest live stream I've ever done, and probably that you've ever done. Thanks for sticking with us. Keep an eye on the Discord and the screenshot section. That's all I'll say for now. And Martin, please post your setup in the Discord as well.
Really?
Thanks very much, chaps. We'll call it a day there, and I
James,
hope
thank
to
you
be
so
seeing
much.
you.
Yeah, thank you, James. That was really, really good. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank
really
you.
good.
First.
Thanks, James. Have a good evening.
Yeah. He's gone to have
Have a
a
good
sandwich.
one.
He's gone.
No, that was a good flight. I enjoyed it.
That was very, very
Great,
good.
great flight.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah, great. Lovely to hear you all again, guys. I'm going away now. Thanks very much.
You too.
Yeah.
Take care, mate.
Hi, Al.
Take
Yeah,
care.
Good to
Bye-bye.
hear you guys. Take
Bye.
care.
Yep,
Bye-bye.
I loved the tutorial.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out and get something to eat. Thanks, guys. I'll catch up with some of you next Sunday.
Yes.
Cheers.